Chapter 570. The entire barren heaven battlefield was in an uproar because of the birth of the divine fetus. The dojo outside the infernal star was equally lively. Most of the sky prides on the Emperor Road who did not go to the barren heaven battlefield came to watch the show. It's been more than a year. Why hasn't the June family's son of God shown any signs of coming out? Who knows? Maybe he's really dead. If that's the case, it's good news for the other sky prides. However, the barren heaven immortal realm might be weaker than the others in the ancient road contest. Previously, there was news that the other immortal realms had extremely powerful outlawed sky prides. It could be said that the era of great battles was really exciting. The sky prides rose and the kings competed for supremacy, while the sky prides in the dojo were discussing incessantly. On the 19th level of the infernal star, it was still a crimson world like a purgatory. However, if one looked closely, they would notice that the sinful karma here was much thinner. How is this possible? The infernal star has accumulated sinful karma for countless eras. More than half of it has been absorbed by him. Goddess Eternal Calamity's eyes were filled with unprecedented shock. For more than a year, the cocoon formed by Jun Xiaoyao had been madly absorbing the sinful karma of the infernal star almost all the time. Even the tiniest bit of this terrifying power of sin was enough to destroy the physical body and soul of an ordinary sky pride. However, Jun Xiaoyao was like a bottomless pit, constantly absorbing the sinful karma. Goddess Eternal Calamity even felt that her power had decreased a lot. Most of the infernal star's power had been absorbed by Jun Xiaoyao. So much sinful karma. Even a supremacy can't bear it. Is this the power of a fateless one? Now, Goddess Eternal Calamity was more and more certain that Jun Xiaoyao was a true fateless one. Only a fateless one would be able to absorb the karmic power of karma in such a way. This was because the power of karma could not affect him at all. It could not taint his body. While Goddess Eternal Calamity was secretly shocked, the cocoon that had been dormant for more than a year finally began to tremble. Cracks began to spread across the cocoon. At the same time, an aura that made even Goddess Eternal Calamity tremble erupted like a volcano. This aura was too powerful. It gave people the feeling that an ancient god was awakening. Boom! The entire cocoon burst open, an endless red lotus karmic fire surged out. The entire 19th level of Hell Star was shaking. Jun Xiaoyao, who was dressed in a peerless white robe, stepped out of the red lotus hellfire that filled the sky. He looked like a supreme god who had just awakened from the depths of hell. Step by step, he stepped forward. With every step he took, his aura would increase by a notch. His first step was the early stage of the saint stage. The second step was the middle stage of the saint stage. The third step was the late stage of the sage realm. His fourth step was the small perfection of the saint stage. He took the fifth step and reached the great circle of the sage stage. Jun Xiaoyao took 5 steps, and his cultivation level shot up by 5 minor levels. If an outsider were to see this, their heart would definitely stop beating. One had to know that this was the sage stage, not the divine bridge, unity, or Tao integration stages from before. In that realm, some geniuses might be able to make consecutive breakthroughs. However, in the sage stage, each minor level was comparable to the previous major level. It was extremely difficult to make consecutive breakthroughs. Even some monstrous geniuses found it difficult to do so. However, Jun Xiaoyao easily broke through 5 stages in a row. It was as simple as eating and drinking. A perfected saint. Barely passable. Sensing his current level, Jun Xiaoyao clicked his tongue. He was not too surprised. This was just a basic operation. Jun Xiaoyao had long been used to it. However, he had the title of Invincible Saint before. Now that he had broken through to the perfected saint realm, how much would his strength soar? Jun Xiaoyao himself would not know if he did not make a move. Of course, the realm was just a bonus. Jun Xiaoyao did not care about it. The main reason he went into seclusion this time was not to make a breakthrough. I've finally awakened the third superpower of the Supreme Bone. Feeling the scorching bone in his chest, Jun Xiaoyao murmured. The Supreme Bone in his chest had absorbed an endless amount of sinful energy. It had long turned into a strange dark red color, filled with demonic intent and sinful energy. Jun Xiaoyao activated the Supreme Bone. A terrifying dark red demonic light surged out along with the red lotus hellfire. Ordinary geniuses would be entangled by endless sinful power, burned by the hellfire, and eventually turned into ashes. The third superpower of the Supreme Bone, sinful demonic light, Jun Xiaoyao muttered to himself. The first superpower, light of tribulation. The second superpower, light of reincarnation. The third superpower, sinful demonic light. Of course, the sinful demonic light in front of him was only the embryonic form of the third superpower. After Jun Xiaoyao cultivated it further, it would transform into a complete superpower. Just like the Hand of Heaven and the Tao Disc of Reincarnation, Jun Xiaoyao controlled the Supreme Bone again. The sinful power dissipated, and the Supreme Bone became crystal clear again. That's not all, Jun Xiaoyao said with a deep look in his eyes. In this world, where there is light, there is darkness. The first move of my Origin Great Path superpower, Genesis, is God's light. When light appears, darkness is also born. The endless karma and sinful power in the world are all the power of darkness. Jun Xiaoyao muttered to himself as if he had fallen into some kind of enlightenment. His hands began to evolve all kinds of mysterious paths. The origin energy of the universe surged out of the god's origin in his dantian. And this origin energy of the universe began to merge with the sinful power. This aura, in the distance, Goddess Eternal Calamity felt the dangerous aura emanating from Jun Xiaoyao. The fact that Jun Xiaoyao's sovereign bone was able to control the power of sin had already shocked her. But now, Jun Xiaoyao's body surged with a terrifying aura again. At the same time, there was another power that made Goddess Eternal Calamity wary. It was not the sinful power, but the origin energy of the universe. In the end, Jun Xiaoyao used the origin energy of the universe to merge with the sinful power. Countless dark red threads appeared around him. Those were sinful threads, the threads of karma. If anyone was entangled by them, they would suffer a great calamity and suffer great terror. Let's call this move God's punishment, Jun Xiaoyao said indifferently. Sinful karma entangled, punishing all living beings. This was Jun Xiaoyao's Origin Great Path superpower, the second move of Genesis, God's punishment. This move also meant that Jun Xiaoyao punished living beings on behalf of God. The second move, God's punishment, represents darkness, and the first move, God's light, represents light. If these two moves can be combined, Jun Xiaoyao had already begun to calculate whether he could combine these two moves to create an even more terrifying move that could destroy the world. At this moment, Goddess Eternal Calamity, who was watching from not far away, was so shocked that she could not speak. Her body was extremely stiff, as if it had been frozen. Jun Xiaoyao was an anomaly among anomalies, a monster among monsters. Chapter 571. After pondering for a while, Jun Xiaoyao made his move again. He activated the cosmic origin energy again and slowly raised both his hands at the same time. In his left hand, a blinding divine light spread out. It was like the first ray of light at the beginning of the universe. In his right hand, the red lotus fire rose. The dark red sinful karma thread appeared, as if it was going to punish all living beings. Jun Xiaoyao used both the light of God and retribution of God at the same time. At this moment, Jun Xiaoyao was holding the life of light in his left hand and the darkness of sin in his right. He was like the god of destruction and rebirth, controlling life and death in the world. Then, Jun Xiaoyao slowly merged the two forces together. In an instant, a destructive wave swept out. The entire 19th level of the infernal star was shaking. Go! Jun Xiaoyao lashed out with one attack. Destructive shockwaves swept out, destroying everything in its path. Then, the wave broke through the barrier of the 19th level of the infernal star. Then, it went on to the 18th level, the 17th level, the 16th level in the end, with a terrifying sound that shook the heavens. The vast and boundless wave of destruction directly pierced through the entire infernal star. Rumble. In the dojo outside the infernal star, many sky prides who were chatting suddenly felt a terrifying wave sweep out. It made their hair stand on end. What's going on? It's the infernal star. Something has happened to the infernal star. Could it be that the Son of God of the Jun family has come out? All the sky prides looked over at the same time. What? Master is coming out. The nine-headed lion, golden-winged roc, Mu Yuehan, Kong Xian, and the others looked over at the same time. Then, all the sky prides in the dojo saw a shocking scene. A destructive wave pierced through the entire infernal star and spread out, destroying and shattering many of the surrounding stars. Countless gasps could be heard. What kind of wave is that? Could it be that the unknown existence in the 19th level of the infernal star is angry? Terrifying, this is too terrifying. If I were to touch even the slightest bit of that fluctuation, I would definitely be smashed into pieces. Many geniuses had goosebumps all over their bodies. They had no idea that Jun Xiaoyao was the one behind all that commotion. He thought that something had happened in the 19th level of Hellstar. Doesn't that mean that the Son of God of the Jun family is in danger? Some of the geniuses looked at each other. Just as the geniuses outside were in a state of extreme shock. On the 19th level of Hellstar, Goddess of Eternal Calamity gaped at the scene, unable to recover from her shock for a long time. Piercing through the infernal star in one move, what kind of power was this? More importantly, this was a divine ability that Jun Xiaoyao had created himself, not something that he had learned from somewhere else. This further demonstrated how monstrous Jun Xiaoyao was. Not bad. Looking at the damage he had caused, Jun Xiaoyao nodded. Right now, this was just a preliminary test, and its power did not disappoint him. In the future, it should be even more powerful. At this point, it was about time for Jun Xiaoyao to leave Hellstar. This time, he had gained a lot on Hellstar. He had condensed the Void Immortal Qi, signed in the Sin Immortal Qi, and obtained the King of Immortal Marrow. He had awakened the third divine ability of the Supreme Bone, comprehended the second move of Genesis, and his cultivation had broken through to the Sage Realm. In short, Jun Xiaoyao's strength had once again soared to a new level. The only one who could surpass Jun Xiaoyao was himself. On the other side, after Goddess of Eternal Calamity came back to her senses, she turned her head and looked at the outside of Hellstar that Jun Xiaoyao had pierced through. What is that? Looking at the twinkling stars, Goddess of Eternal Calamity was a little dazed. It's freedom, Jun Xiaoyao said. Goddess of Eternal Calamity hesitated for a while and said, I want to leave. Jun Xiaoyao nodded slightly and said, Okay, I'll take you away. Previously, Jun Xiaoyao couldn't take Goddess of Eternal Calamity away because the restrictions on the 19th level of Hellstar were too strong. However, after more than a year, Jun Xiaoyao had absorbed most of the sinful energy of Hellstar. The restrictions of the rules had also been greatly weakened. Jun Xiaoyao had even pierced through Hellstar with one move. He could now safely take Goddess of Eternal Calamity away. After leaving Hellstar, my strength will be weakened a lot, Goddess of Eternal Calamity said. The reason why even Supremes couldn't escape from the 19th level of Hellstar was mainly because of the power of Hellstar. Now that Goddess of Eternal Calamity had left Hellstar, she naturally couldn't have the power to destroy everything. It doesn't matter. Your talent is here. Follow me, and in the future, you will be able to see all the prosperity of this world, Jun Xiaoyao said indifferently. Goddess of Eternal Calamity finally made up her mind and nodded. Let's go. Jun Xiaoyao put his hands behind his back and took the lead, walking out of the passage that had been pierced through. Goddess of eternal calamity followed behind. In the dojo outside Hellstar, many geniuses were craning their necks, trying to take a look. However, they didn't dare to get close, fearing that they would have something to do with the 19th level of Hellstar. While waiting like this, at the opening blasted open on Underworld Star, divine radiance shone brightly, immortal will surging. A fairy-like figure in a white robe leisurely walked out from the deepest part of Hellstar with his hands behind his back. She looked as if she had just returned from a stroll somewhere. It's the son of God of the June family. He's out. He really came out from the 19th level of Hellstar. Oh my God, was it the son of God of the June family who had pierced through Hellstar before? Jun Xiaoyao's appearance undoubtedly set the entire place on fire, causing the place to explode with excitement. Nine-headed lion, golden-winged roc, Mu Yuehan, Shao Xianer, and Kong Xian rushed to the front. Kong Xian was stunned when she saw the figure. All she was waiting for was a result. If Jun Xiaoyao didn't make it out of the 19th level of Infernal Star, then Jade Fozi's death would be avenged. However, at this moment, looking at the white-robed Jun Xiaoyao, who had a calm expression on his face, despair filled Kong Xian's heart. Jun Xiaoyao, is he really invincible? Kong Xian asked in a daze. Avenge Jade Arhat? It was just a joke. However, before Kong Xian could come back to her senses, a voice suddenly rang out. The guardian of Hulao Pass, Chong Ming Prime, also showed himself. He smiled and was about to congratulate Jun Xiaoyao when he saw the figure behind Jun Xiaoyao. It was a woman in a red dress. Her jet-black hair flowed down like a river of blood, and her face was cold and beautiful, and it was branded with strange black-colored curse markings. That could it be? Chong Ming Supreme's eyes almost popped out of their sockets. His body trembled slightly. As the guardian of Hulao Pass, even though he had never entered the 19th level of Hellstar, he had vaguely heard some rumors. Could she be the existence from the 19th level of Hellstar? Chong Ming Supreme blurted out in astonishment. Chapter 572. As one of the Seven Wonders, not even Chong Ming Supreme dared to enter the 19th level of the Infernal Star. However, he had heard rumors that there was a being in the deepest part of the Infernal Star who controlled the sinful power of the entire Infernal Star. At that moment, the cold woman behind Jun Xiaoyao, who had an eerie air about her, seemed to have something to do with the 19th level of Infernal Star. What? The son of God of the Jun family brought out the being from the 19th level of the Infernal Star? Hearing Chong Ming Supreme's words, all the geniuses in the training hall were dumbfounded. They looked at Goddess of Eternal Calamity and stepped back, afraid that they would be implicated. Seeing this, Goddess of Eternal Calamity's beautiful eyes flashed with coldness. She realized that the others seemed to be afraid of her and regarded her as a ghost. On the other hand, Jun Xiaoyao didn't have any special feelings for her and was even willing to accept her as a follower. For a moment, Goddess of Eternal Calamity looked at the back of the white-robed figure in front of her with a slight change in her eyes. Yes, she is the being from the 19th level. But now, she is a follower of the Son of God, Jun Xiaoyao said with a faint smile. As soon as he finished speaking, the whole place fell silent. Not only did Jun Xiaoyao come out of the 19th level unscathed, but he even kidnapped the forbidden being from the 19th level and accepted her as a follower. This was King ridiculous, as expected of the son of God of the Jun family. Chong Ming Supreme wiped the sweat on his forehead. What a fierce man! After a short moment of silence, all kinds of surprised, shocked, and admiring voices were heard. Jun Xiaoyao had refreshed everyone's understanding of him. The son of God of the Jun family broke through 2 of the 7 wonders. That's amazing! No one has ever done it before, and no one will do it in the future. Do you think the divine child of the Jun family will explore the remaining 5 incredible things? It's very possible. Don't forget that the Jun family has the title of the 8th wonder. I think that the son of God of the Jun family should be called the ninth most incredible individual, a female genius said with fanatical admiration in her eyes. That's right. The Jun family is the eighth most incredible family, and the Jun family's son of God is the ninth most incredible family member. Even Jun Xiaoyao did not expect this. He now had another title of the ninth most incredible. Chong Ming's supreme left after flattering Qin Nan a little. He murmured that the younger generation would surpass him in time. Jun Xiaoyao walked over to Golden-Winged Rock and the others. The surrounding geniuses all scattered because they were afraid of Goddess Eternally Calamity. Lord Son of God. Golden-Winged Rock and the others cupped their fists. The closer they got to Jun Xiaoyao, the more they could sense it. Jun Xiaoyao exuded a powerful aura of might. It wasn't Jun Xiaoyao who deliberately spread the news. Instead, it flowed out naturally. If I may ask, Lord Son of God's current realm. Golden-Winged Rock hesitated. Barely reached the sage great perfection? Not fast, Jun Xiaoyao said casually. It wasn't a secret anyway. There was no need to hide it. What? Jun Xiaoyao's casual words fell into the ears of others. It was like a thunderclap. Sage great perfection. Since Jun Xiaoyao entered the Emperor Road until now? At the very most, it had only been 2 years. Jun Xiaoyao was only in his 20s. In terms of a cultivator's lifespan, he was as young as a baby. However, Jun Xiaoyao had already reached the sage great perfection. Oh my God! The Jun family's son of God crossed 5 realms in a single seclusion. Doesn't this mean that it won't be long before the Jun family's son of God becomes a sage king? Maybe the son of God will get the title of the youngest sage king in history again! Exclamation. Shock. Exclamation. Admiration. Kong Xian's delicate body trembled. Her pupils were trembling. She had completely accepted her fate. What jade Buddha! He wasn't even worthy of carrying Jun Xiaoyao's shoes. The two of them were not on the same level at all. Maybe he can be the Jun family's son of God's mount? It's not a bad choice. Kong Xian had this idea. The son of God has such a cultivation level? It seems that the battle with Yi Guchen is going to be interesting. Although Yi Guchen is strong, the Jun family's son of God is not to be trifled with either. After coming out of seclusion, his strength has skyrocketed to such an extent that he even took in the people on the 19th level as his followers. Hearing this, Jun Xiaoyao raised his eyebrows slightly. It seemed that a lot of things had happened during his seclusion for more than a year. Let's go and find a place to talk, Jun Xiaoyao said. Yes. Golden-Winged Rock and the others followed behind. Soon, they arrived at a courtyard in Hulao Pass. As soon as they landed, Xiao Xian jumped in front of Jun Xiaoyao, her big eyes full of desire. She tugged at Jun Xiaoyao's clothes and said, "Little brother, I want. Why haven't you fattened up yet?" Jun Xiaoyao glanced at Xiao Xian. "There's nothing I like to eat," Xiao Xian said aggrievedly, rubbing her small belly. Here, Jun Xiaoyao took out the myriad qi cauldron and gave a few strands of myriad qi to Xiao Xian. Xiao Xian immediately smiled and gulped down the myriad qi cauldron. "Tell me the latest news. Also, what's going on with Yi Guchen's challenge?" Jun Xiaoyao asked. "Lord Son of God, it's like this." Mu Yuehan stepped forward and told Jun Xiaoyao all the major news in the past year. "I see. The barren heaven battlefield has opened and people are fighting for the seal of proving doctrine. And that Yi Guchen actually challenged me to a battle," Jun Xiaoyao said. He and Yi Guchen didn't have any grudges. The only conflict he had with the Yi family was Yi Xingyun. However, Yi Xingyun didn't die at his hands. He was killed by the Infinite Star Lord. Therefore, Jun Xiaoyao didn't have any grudges with the Yi family. Yi Guchen probably didn't challenge him because of any grudges. It was just a simple challenge. If that's the case, then I, Son of God, will accept. I hope Yi Guchen can surprise me, Jun Xiaoyao said. Throughout his cultivation journey, he had been invincible. Sometimes, standing at the top and not being able to find a worthy opponent was a kind of loneliness. Yi Guchen was the reincarnation of the sword demon. He was strong and courageous. He dared to cut off his past and reconstruct his true self. Jun Xiaoyao looked forward to Yi Guchen bringing him some passion that he hadn't felt in a long time. By the way, Son of God, there's another piece of news that I'm sure you'll pay attention to, Golden-Winged Rock said. What is it? Jun Xiaoyao asked. In the barren heaven battlefield, Jiang Shengyi obtained a divine fetus. She's been pushed to the center of attention. It's said that some people might harm her, so they're going to surround her. Is that so? Jun Xiaoyao's eyes were as cold as the abyss. Although he didn't show any obvious anger, Golden-Winged Rock and the others suddenly felt a chill run down their spines. It was as if their blood had frozen. I heard that Long Shuhuang, Huang Zhiyan, the descendant of the crocodile ancestor, and other Archean royalty geniuses might also be involved, Golden-Winged Rock continued. There will always be ants who don't know their own strength. Since that's the case, let's settle this before we step onto the ancient ultimate road. Jun Xiaoyao flung his sleeves. His aura changed instantly. He changed from a banished immortal to a killing immortal. To the barren heaven battlefield. Chapter 573. At the end of the Huangtian Immortal Domains Emperor Road was the 18th checkpoint. It was called Hanggu Pass. After leaving Hanggu Pass in the west, it was the starting point of the ancient road. And 1,000,000 li away from Hanggu Pass, there was a vast ancient battlefield. Rather than calling it a battlefield, it looked more like a barren continent floating in the starry sky of the universe. Rumor had it that this barren heaven battlefield was an extremely ancient ruin, which left behind many great opportunities. For example, the divine fetus, a rare treasure that was almost impossible to appear anywhere else, could be found in the barren heaven battlefield. It had been a long time since the opening of the barren heaven battlefield. Many sky prides were fighting inside. Of course, there were also some sky prides who did not enter. That was because they were already exhausted from the journey, and their Taoist heart had been worn out. Now, they were curious about who could obtain the seal of proving doctrine and step onto the ancient road. The battle between Yi Guchen and Jun Xiaoyao had also attracted many sky prides. Even some of the natives of the Emperor Road had gathered here to watch the show. In the void, a middle-aged man clad in dazzling armor exuded the aura of a supreme being, suppressing everyone present. He was the guardian of Hanggu Pass, one of the 18 checkpoints of the Emperor Road, Supreme Du Tu. The barren heaven battlefield was the final test of the Emperor Road. It was very important. Even Supreme Du Tua had no choice but to stay here and guard the place. TSK, the divine fetus. That's something that even I would be interested in. Supreme Du Tua sighed. A treasure like the divine fetus was something that even a supreme like him would be interested in, let alone the sky prides who were fighting for it. In order to obtain the divine fetus and cultivate divine chi, they would do anything. One-on-one fair competition? That was impossible. But what puzzles me is that the little girl from the Jiang family obtained the divine fetus. Why didn't she refine it directly? Supreme Du Tua shook his head with confusion in his eyes. Although Jiang Shengyi was being targeted from all sides, she should be able to find the time to refine the divine fetus. With her innate Taoist fetus potential, what if she refined the divine fetus? She would definitely become one of the top outlawed sky prides. However, Jiang Shengyi did not do that. Now, in the depths of the barren heaven battlefield, in a barren desert, an immortal figure quickly flew into the sky. She was dressed in a snow-white robe and had a head of white hair. Her immortal appearance was peerless, and she was elegant and refined. Her figure was graceful and flawless. Her delicate body was tall and slender, like a snow lotus that was lost in the world. She had jade-like skin and immortal bones, and her temperament was otherworldly. It was Jiang Shengyi. However, she was not in a good state at the moment. Her exquisite and picturesque face was pale and bloodless, and her snow-white clothes were stained with blood. It was as if the blood plum blossomed. Matched with her snow-white hair, there was a kind of sorrowful beauty. Persist? Persevere. You must wait until he comes. Jiang Xingyi wiped away the remaining blood at the corner of her lips. During this period of time, she had been besieged by various geniuses from time to time. He escaped all the way. As for the Jiang family and the Jun family who wanted to help her, they were also harassed and obstructed, so they couldn't come in time. After all, a supreme treasure like the divine fetus was enough to drive people crazy. No one could resist such a temptation. What made Jiang Xingyi feel uneasy was that some of the major figures seemed to have secretly reached some kind of agreement and started to target her with all their might. Just as Jiang Xingyi was deep in thought, a figure suddenly appeared from the void in front of her. It was a beautiful figure in a green robe, sitting cross-legged on a lotus platform. Her face was covered by a white veil, and only a pair of limpid eyes could be seen. It was the divine daughter of the Ji family, Ji Qingyi. Ji Qingyi, it's you. Jiang Xingyi's beautiful eyes were filled with wariness, and the power of the connate fetus circulated in her body. Jiang Xingyi, I don't want to declare war with you. I can use all kinds of treasures to exchange for the divine fetus, Ji Qingyi said. Mobile app, Mimi Read. She didn't have any killing intent, and she didn't want to attack. You know that's impossible. Jiang Xingyi shook her head. The divine fetus was extremely precious. How could it be exchanged for just any treasure? Moreover, she had her own thoughts after obtaining the divine fetus. She couldn't give it to others. How about an Immortal's Sutra? Ji Qingyi smiled. What? You have an Immortal's Sutra? Jiang Xingyi was truly shocked. An Immortal's Sutra was extremely rare. It was rumored that it was a supreme cultivation method left behind by a true immortal. Even some of the immortal forces might only have some incomplete Immortal's Sutras. My Immortal's Sutra is naturally incomplete, but I have half of it. It's enough to cultivate an immortal path abhijna, Ji Qingyi said. Jiang Xingyi looked deeply at Ji Qingyi. Ji Qingyi was not only the goddess of the Ji family of the clan of the ancients, but also the goddess of the Rinxian sect. As the successor of two immortal forces, Ji Qingyi kept a low profile, unlike Jun Xiaoyao, whose name was known throughout the Huangtian mystic realm. However, she was definitely the most secretive person. Even Jiang Xingyi couldn't see through her. However, Jiang Xingyi still shook her head. Her divine fetus already belonged to someone. Is that so? What a pity. You've missed a chance to make good friends, Ji Qingyi sighed. Making good friends? Does it have anything to do with you? Jiang Xingyi asked. It's not me. It's the true successor of the Ren celestial sect. He's destined to become a supreme existence, and I'm just an assistant. I also want to obtain the divine fetus for him. Ji Qingyi tucked her hair behind her ear. Her tone was as calm as water. The true successor of the Ren celestial sect? Jiang Xingyi's beautiful eyes flashed with surprise. The saintess of the Ren celestial sect, the unfathomable Ji Qingyi, was just an assistant? The Ren celestial sect isn't a large sect native to the Huangtian mystic realm. Like the saint sect, it came from other mystic realms. That person is destined to become a supreme existence. He's a heaven-defying successor of the Ren celestial sect who's been sleeping for many eras. His body constitution is also ranked in the top 10 among the 3,000 body constitutions. His background is also taboo. You could even say that his background isn't inferior to Jun Xiaoyao's, Ji Qingyi said. Hearing this, Jiang Xingyi felt uncomfortable. She didn't like that there was someone who could be compared to Jun Xiaoyao. In her heart, Jun Xiaoyao would always be the man who stood at the peak and looked down on the world. You're not handing over the divine fetus, but you're also not integrating with it. Could it be that you want to leave the divine fetus to Jun Xiaoyao? Ji Qingyi guessed. Jiang Xingyi's expression didn't change, but her beautiful eyes flickered slightly. Obviously, Ji Qingyi had guessed correctly. If you integrate with such a precious divine fetus together with the innate Taoist fetus, you'll definitely be able to reach the peak. Long Xuhuang and the others will be defeated by you. But you're willing to be hunted down, surrounded, and injured just to leave the divine fetus to Jun Xiaoyao. Ji Qingyi sighed. She was really surprised. This was beyond her expectations. Something as precious as the divine fetus was enough to make friends turn against each other. Jiang Xingyi risked her life to keep the divine fetus, but it wasn't for herself. She wanted to leave it to Jun Xiaoyao. What kind of deep feelings could make a person make such a choice to sacrifice himself? Chapter 574. Looks like the rumors were true. You were so loyal to Jun Xiaoyao that your hair turned white overnight. Now you are protecting the divine fetus with your life for him, just so that he can refine it. Ji Qingyi sighed. This kind of feeling was very moving. There is no need to say anything more. I will not give you the divine fetus. Jiang Xingyi's eyes were resolute. The divine fetus was compatible with her connate embryos. However, in comparison, Jun Xiaoyao had entered the Emperor Road much later. He needed the divine fetus more. Jiang Xingyi was injured, but she was confident that she could protect the divine fetus in a battle with Ji Qingyi. Ji Qingyi's eyes were deep. For a moment, she was about to activate her dermic powers. But soon after, Ji Qingyi gave up. Jun Xiaoyao has entered the 19th level of the Infernal Star. I don't know if he can come out again. If you can't hold on during this period, won't you be giving the divine fetus to someone else for nothing? The news of Jun Xiaoyao leaving the 19th level of the Infernal Star would not reach Hanggu Pass so quickly, let alone the barren heaven battlefield. This has nothing to do with you. I will protect it with my life, Jiang Xingyi said coldly. Then Jiang Xingyi, take care of yourself. Ji Qingyi shook her head and left. She had her concerns. She was not only worried about Jiang Xingyi's strength. She was also worried about Jun Xiaoyao behind Jiang Xingyi. Ji Qingyi had seen Jun Xiaoyao's power. However, she did not think that Jun Xiaoyao could be stronger than the mysterious successor of the Ren immortal sect. At the very least, Ji Qingyi could not afford to offend him. Therefore, she gave up. Seeing Ji Qingyi leave, Jiang Xingyi also heaved a sigh of relief. Ji Qingyi was one of the most well-hidden geniuses in the barren heaven mystic realm. If she really attacked, Jiang Xingyi would probably be injured again even if she could escape. I will keep this divine fetus for Xiaoyao. When he comes to the barren heaven battlefield, I will personally hand it to him, Jiang Xingyi murmured. At the thought of that white-clothed figure, Jiang Xingyi couldn't help but smile. Paired with her ethereal beauty there was a kind of otherworldly beauty. In her body, the connate Taoist embryo was constantly moving, as if urging Jiang Xingyi to refine it as soon as possible. Jiang Xingyi had been suppressing it all this time. She clearly knew that if she refined this divine fetus, she might be able to cultivate 3, 4, or even 5 strands of immortal qi. But she still refused to do so, because in her heart Jun Xiaoyao was the most important. Then, another month passed. After setting off from Hulao Pass, Jun Xiaoyao also pushed his way through. For ordinary geniuses, the Emperor Road was full of danger. But for Jun Xiaoyao it was like walking on flat ground, as if he was strolling in his own backyard. Now on the Emperor Road, with Jun Xiaoyao's strength, there was nothing that could threaten him. Astral beasts, void undercurrents, and all kinds of dangerous places. Jun Xiaoyao pushed through them all. As for the astral bandits, when they saw Jun Xiaoyao from afar, they had already retreated in fear. Jun Xiaoyao was like a white-clothed divine king, walking in the galaxy, pushing through everything along the way. At this speed, Jun Xiaoyao would soon arrive at the barren heaven battlefield. However, in the past month, the situation in the barren heaven battlefield had also changed. It was not only the geniuses of the Archean royalty, such as Long Xuhuang, Huang Zhiyan, and the descendants of the crocodile ancestor who were targeting Jiang Shunyi. Not to mention, the geniuses from the ancient star field had joined forces as well. They seemed to have reached some kind of agreement with Long Xuhuang and the others. Long Xuhuang and the others went to encircle and suppress Jiang Shunyi. As for the geniuses from the ancient star zone, they went to resist those who came to help Jiang Shunyi. In a certain realm of the barren heaven battlefield, several figures were gathering in one direction. One of them was a young girl with 2 ponytails. It was Jiang Luoli. Her eyes were bright, her nose was straight, and her lips were painted. Her face was snow-white and delicate, like a little beauty carved from jade. However, at this moment, her little face was filled with anxiety. She said, "Those guys are too presumptuous. How dare they openly encircle Sister Shunyi?" Previously, because of Jun Xiaoyao, there seemed to be some distance between Jiang Luoli and Jiang Shunyi. However, this could not hinder the kinship between Jiang Luoli and Jiang Shunyi. Ha! If Jun Xiaoyao was here, would they dare to be so presumptuous? On the side, a valiant male with a divine seal in his hand sneered coldly. He was the ancient freak of the Jiang family, Jiang Tianyan, with the divine seal king body. "No matter what, let's hurry and save her," another man, Jiang Zuling, said. However, at this moment, a dozen figures suddenly appeared in front of them. Seeing these figures suddenly appear, Jiang Luoli's little face darkened. The leader was a man with long red hair. His aura was as violent as fire, and his cultivation had also reached the saint realm. "So it's Gu Yan, the little giant of the Crimson Flame ancient star zone." Jiang Tianyan frowned slightly. This Gu Yan was somewhat of a legend. It was rumored that he was originally a disciple of an unknown force in the Crimson Flame ancient star zone. Later, he accidentally fell into the forbidden area of the Crimson Flame ancient star zone, the fiery abyss, and was devoured by the ancient flame demon. However, in the end, not only did Gu Yan not die, but he also merged with the ancient flame demon, controlled the power of flames, and rose to power. After setting foot on the Emperor Road, he had swept through all his opponents. Now, he had also become a famous little giant. In addition, the geniuses around Gu Yan were not weak either. They were not much weaker than the little giant. "Everyone, where are you going?" Gu Yan asked with a smile. "Get out of the way. I don't have time to chat with you," Jiang Luoli shouted. "The pearl of the Jiang family is indeed charming. I wonder if I can have the honor to talk about life and dreams with you?" Gu Yan said with a smile. He was very strong and good-looking. He had become a little giant and was also a dazzling star in the Emperor Road. "Do you think an ugly monster like you is worthy? Your strength can't even compare to Big Brother Xiaoyao's finger. As for your appearance, it's an insult to Big Brother Xiaoyao to compare your appearance with Xiaoyao's." Jiang Luoli's words were not weak, and the smile on Gu Yan's face disappeared when he heard them. That Jun Xiaoyao entered the 19th level of the Infernal Star, and I don't know if he can come out alive. What's so good about liking a dead person? How dare you? Jiang Luoli puffed up her cheeks, and her eyes were spitting fire. Jiang Tianyan stepped forward and said coldly, "If you want to stop us from helping Jiang Shunyi, just say it. Why do you have to beat around the bush? It's good that you understand. Do you want to sit down quietly, or do you want to fight?" Gu Yan's eyes were surging with flames. Vaguely, the shadow of a terrifying ancient flame demon appeared behind him. Chapter 575. I'm just curious. What did Long Xuhuang and the others promise you that you're willing to help them? Jiang Tianyan said coldly. You don't need to know that, Gu Yan said calmly. They had reached an agreement with Long Xuhuang and the others. Naturally, there were benefits to be gained. Otherwise, Gu Yan wouldn't be so stupid to help others for free. Since that's the case, let me see just how strong the ancient flame demon is. Jiang Tianyan made his move. He formed a divine seal and activated his divine seal king body. His aura was extremely strong. As the ancient freak of the Jiang family, His strength was unquestionable. Haha, I also want to see how strong the ancient freak of the Jiang family is. Gu Yen also made his move. Jiang Luoli, Jiang Zuling, and the others also made their moves without hesitation. For a moment the two sides fought. Magical power burst out, shaking the heavens and the earth. At the same time, in another part of the barren heaven battlefield, 3 figures were also flying in the air. The man at the front was wearing a plain white robe. He had a wine gourd at his waist and an umbrella in his hand. His black hair fluttered in the wind, and his appearance was also unparalleled. It was the ancient freak of the Jun family, Lord Grimm, who lay drunk on the battlefield. Beside him were the 2 sequences, Jun Lingsong and Jun Mulan. Previously in the immortal ancient world, when the Jun family was in danger, the Jiang family also helped. This time, it's our turn to help them, Lord Grimm said. That's right. As for Jun Wushuang and the others, they should be taking action by now, Jun Lingsong said. When they heard that the Jiang family was in trouble, the Jun family wouldn't just stand by and watch. This was the friendship between the 2 families. It was also at this moment that over 100 figures suddenly appeared in front of them. The dozen or so people at the front were all powerful cultivators at the level of minor figurehead. Lord Grimm narrowed his eyes. What is the meaning of this? Jun Lingsong said coldly. Sequences of the Jun family, it's best that you don't get involved in the Jiang family's affairs. A minor figurehead walked out from the group. It was a man with a rough face and a demonic aura. He was the successor of an undying force, Battle Demon Cave, in a certain ancient star field. That's right. We don't want to become enemies with the Jun family either. Another man dressed in a royal robe stepped forward. He was the crown prince of Tianyao Jin dynasty. The other dozen or so small giants also had their own backgrounds. They were all dragons and phoenixes with extraordinary talent. The other 70 or 80 elites weren't much weaker than the overlord. It's my honor to have you mobilize such a large force, but... Lord Grimm's tone suddenly changed. Can you stop me? As Lord Grimm's voice fell, a terrifying aura was released. This aura caused the expressions of the Battle Demon Cave's successor, the Crown Prince of the Heavenly Brilliance Jin dynasty, and other minor heavyweights to change. Lord Grimm wasn't listed on the Barren Sky Saint rank because he wasn't interested. If Yi Guchen wanted to compete for the Barren Sky Saint ranking, he might not have been able to get first place so easily. It was also because of this that the big shots of the ancient star field attached great importance to Lord Grimm. 100 of them had come at once. There were even more than a dozen minor heavyweights holding the fort. The Crown Prince of the Heavenly Brilliance Jin dynasty said, "Of course we can't stop you, but we should be able to delay you." "Then let's try." Lord Grimm's eyes were cold. Next, there was no superfluous words. Lord Grimm, Jun Lingsong, and Jun Mulan fought the 100 or so elites. Just Lord Grimm alone would require a large group of people to suppress him. Only then would they be able to stall for time. On the other side, Jun Wushuang and the other sequences were also harassed by some minor heavyweight. It was difficult for them to come to their aid in a short period of time. In a barren land at the edge of the barren sky battlefield, Jiang Xingyi dragged her tired body to this place. "No, if we continue to run, we'll have to leave the barren sky battlefield. But that'll make it easier for us to be targeted," Jiang Xingyi said with a tired expression. Her face was as pale as paper. Her snow-white clothes were mottled with blood, making her look very glaring. In order to protect the divine fetus, she did not even have the time to seize the seal of proving doctrine. It could be said that Jiang Xingyi had sacrificed too much for Jun Xiaoyao. But she had no regrets. At that moment, a playful voice sounded. "Jiang Xingyi, I'm tired of this game of cat and mouse. It's time to end it." As the voice sounded, many black dots appeared in the distance. They were the elites of the Emperor Road, and they were surrounding them. The one who spoke was a valiant man with dragon horns on his head and phoenix wings on his back. His aura was suffocating and oppressive, as if an ancient beast had appeared in the world. The bloodline aura on his body was extremely dense. It was Long Xianwang, who had the supreme dragon phoenix body. Jiang Shengyi, why struggle? Hand over the divine fetus, and you'll be spared from physical pain. On the other side of the sky, there was a rain of fire. A man in a luxurious crimson robe with phoenix wings on his back stepped on the flames. He was the ancient freak of the Wanhuang spirit mountain, Huang Jiyan. If this woman doesn't know what's good for her, I'll swallow her alive. A hoarse and rough voice sounded. It was a bald, brawny man covered in black scales. His eyes were a pair of dark green vertical pupils, and they were bloodthirsty. He was the descendant of the crocodile ancestor from the ancient crocodile lake. These three elites of the Archean royalty stood at the pinnacle of the Emperor Road. In addition, there were hundreds of elites gathered around. They were all elites of the ancient star regions. There were also many small giants among them. There were dozens of them. There were also elites of the Huangtian mystic realm, but they were only watching from afar. After all, Jiang Shengyi's family was one of the three Huangtian imperial families in the Huangtian mystic realm. Jiang Shengyi's background was still very intimidating. The elites of the Huangtian mystic realm did not dare to interfere. They could only take advantage of the situation. This time, Jiang Shengyi will really have to hand over the divine fetus, a flawless woman in a pink dress murmured. She was Yen Rumring of the Demon God Palace. This is troublesome. Why haven't reinforcements arrived yet? On the other side, a beautiful lowly in a black dress said. She was Xiao Maxian of the celestial demon cult. Xiao Maxian was on good terms with Jun Xiaoyao. As for Jiang Shengyi and Jun Xiaoyao's relationship, it was needless to say. Therefore, Xiao Maxian did not want to see anything happen to Jiang Shengyi. However, with her strength alone, she could not turn the tide of the battle. There were dozens of small giants. With the addition of Long Xiuhuang and the other two royal elites, this was a terrifying lineup. As expected, it's hard to escape the fate of being surrounded. Ji Qingyi also appeared. She shook her head as she looked at the scene. If Jiang Shengyi had given her the divine fetus earlier, he would not have ended up like this. Fairy Qingyi, why didn't you just snatch the divine fetus? I could have brought it back to Master. There was another woman beside Ji Qingyi. She was beautiful and had an extraordinary aura. She had cultivated 2 strands of divine qi and was comparable to a small giant. It was hard to imagine that a small giant would recognize someone else as her master. Jiang Shengyi has an innate Taoist fetus. He is not easy to deal with. However, what I am worried about is Jun Xiaoyao behind him, Ji Qingyi said. She hid it very well and was very cautious. Because she had seen Jun Xiaoyao's strength, she would not provoke Jun Xiaoyao unless she had no other choice. Is Jun Xiaoyao really as strong as the rumors say? Although he has a top 10 taboo physique like Master, the sacred body of the ancients has declined. It is destined to never return to its former glory. This woman was called Chen Fei. She was a follower of the mysterious successor of the human immortal cult. She was the same as the follower of the overlord that Jun Xiaoyao had met before. Chen Fei was not a genius of the Huangtian immortal realm. She had used a special method to sneak into the Emperor Road to gather information for her master. She was quite displeased that Ji Qingyi did not get the divine fetus. Chapter 576. You're not from the Huangtian mystic realm. Naturally, you don't know what kind of power and status Jun Xiaoyao has in the Huangtian mystic realm, Ji Qingyi said. So what? He's nothing in front of my master, Chen Fei said, pouting. In her mind, her master, the successor of the Rinxian sect, was invincible. He was destined to dominate the rise and fall of this era. At this moment, Jiang Shengyi, who was surrounded by enemies, didn't show any panic or fear on her beautiful face. As the goddess of the Jiang family, and with the natural embryo of the Wei, Jiang Shengyi's mind was already unbreakable. At this moment she looked calm and said, Have you really decided to become enemies with the Jiang family and the Jun family? Jiang Xingyi's words made some of the small giants of the ancient star field look uneasy. Behind Jiang Xingyi stood the Jiang family of the clan of the ancients. The Jun family and the Jiang family of the ancients had a common enemy. They were in the same boat. Offending Jiang Xingyi was equivalent to offending two clans of the ancients. However, thinking of the rewards they could get, these small giants of the ancient star field calmed down. Long Xuhuang and the others agreed. As long as Long Xuhuang and the other two could get the divine embryo, each of them would get at least one seal of proving doctrine. They would even be rewarded with immortal marrow. The seal of proving doctrine wasn't something that anyone could get. Even the small giants might not be able to get one. It was obvious how tempting Long Xuhuang's offer was. With the strength of Long Xuhuang and the others, they could get more than one seal of proving doctrine. This was the agreement between them. Haha, don't use the Jiang family and the Jun family to pressure us. When the time comes, Zulong, Wanhuang Spirit Mountain, Ancient Crocodile Lake, and other forces will join forces. Can't we deal with the Jiang family and the Jun family? Long Xuhuang's face was full of contempt and disdain. The force behind him didn't fear the Jiang family at all. However, Long Xuhuang and the others didn't know that the force behind him had been destroyed by the Jun family. Yes, indeed. With the support of the Archean royalty, what are we afraid of? The small giants of the ancient star field relaxed when they heard this. With the Archean royalty backing them up, they had nothing to fear. There is only one divine fetus. How will the three of you split it? Jiang Xingyi continued. Don't play this kind of tactic. You don't have to worry about it. Long Xuhuang looked at Jiang Xingyi as if she was looking at a caged beast. Aren't you afraid that Xiaoyao will come and kill all of you? Jiang Xingyi continued, trying to buy some time. Long Xuhuang's eyes flashed coldly. Let's not talk about whether Jun Xiaoyao can come out of the 19th level of Hellstar. Even if he can, I'm not afraid of him. After all, Long Xuhuang had cultivated 3 strands of immortal qi. She was stronger than the average little giant. In her expectation, no matter how strong Jun Xiaoyao was, he shouldn't be able to completely suppress her. My Phoenix Life Restoration art also needs an opponent to achieve the final transformation. Huang Juyan was also unconcerned. She was still hoping that Jun Xiaoyao would come. She could use him to train herself. Stop talking nonsense. This woman is obviously trying to buy time. Let's go, the crocodile ancestor's descendant said in a hoarse voice. Boom. Long Xuhuang and Huang Juyan were also stalling. The two of them attacked at the same time. The crocodile ancestor's descendant also attacked. Although the 3 top sky prides of Emperor Road ganged up on a woman, it would be bad for their reputation. However, at this time, obtaining the divine fetus was the most important thing. Although Jiang Xingyi was a woman, she was not a pushover. With the special advantage of the innate Tao fetus, Jiang Xingyi had also cultivated 3 strands of immortal qi. She waved her hand, and the lines of the great Tao spread out. Jiang Xingyi was like a woman blessed by the heavens. Every move she made triggered the great Tao, and her power was strong. Of course, Long Xuhuang and the others were also not to be trifled with. The 3 of them combined were enough to completely suppress Jiang Xingyi. Obtaining the divine fetus was only a matter of time. As for the other small figureheads, they were here to prevent accident. If anyone else wanted to save Jiang Xingyi, they would interfere. As time passed, half an hour later, under the suppression of the 3 top sky prides, even someone as strong as Jiang Xingyi could not withstand it. Dragon Phoenix Sky Shaking Palm. Long Xuhuang activated the power of the 3 strands of immortal qi. At the same time, she pushed her ancestral dragon and divine phoenix bloodlines to the extreme. An illusion of an ancestral dragon and a godly phoenix accompanied his palm strike. The void roared and the earth shook. It was like a dragon and a phoenix had crossed time and space from ancient times. Their power shook people's hearts. Jiang Xingyi was already injured before, and now she was being suppressed by the three top sky prides. Long Xuhuang's palm strike was the last straw that broke the camel's back. Jiang Xingyi spat out a mouthful of blood, which splashed on her clothes. It was a tragic sight. At that moment, Huang Juyan took advantage of the situation. He took out a supreme weapon, a sharp blade made of phoenix feathers. The phoenix feather blade slashed down like a heavenly blade. Jiang Xingyi could only barely dodge, but her arm was still cut, and crystal blood splattered. She was seriously injured again. "Damn it, you're too much of a bully," a delicate voice sounded. It was Xiao Maxian of the celestial demon cult. Not to mention that she had some relationship with Jun Xiaoyao. Even a passerby who had no relationship with her would feel indignant when they saw the three of them humiliating a beautiful woman. Xiao Maxian made her move. At the same time, several figures rushed over. "Don't be so arrogant." An arrow shot out as if it had pierced through the void. Could it be the followers of the Jun family's Son of God are here? Seeing the arrow that seemed to be able to pierce through heaven and earth, some of the spectating sky prides exclaimed. A figure appeared. It was EU. Three famous sky prides dared to humiliate a woman like this. "Long Xuhuang, you've really returned to life." Dragon Chi spread out, and a beautiful woman in a palace dress with dragon horns on her head appeared. It was Princess Longji. "Princess Longji, I think you're addicted to being ridden by Jun Xiaoyao. You've embarrassed Zulong." Seeing Princess Longji appear, Long Xuhuang only sneered. He did not treat Princess Longji as a sky pride of Zulong. Previously, he had even injured Princess Longji because of some opportunities. On the other side of the void, Yan Qingying also appeared in a black dress. Her aura was even deeper, and her eyes were like the stars in the night sky, filled with a chilling coldness. Yan Qingying did not say a word, but she also wanted to participate in the battle. However, those little giants were not to be trifled with. Today, no one is allowed to participate in this battle. Dozens of little giants stood outside like an iron wall, blocking everything. Even though Yan Qingying, Princess Longji, and Xiao Maxian were very strong, it was obviously impossible to break through the defense of dozens of little giants in a short period of time. Is the Jiang family's goddess really going to die today? Some of the spectating sky prides murmured. At the same time, outside the barren heaven battlefield, many cultivators did not leave. They were paying attention to the news. A sky pride from the ancient star field shook his head and said, "I heard that the Jiang family's goddess did not refine the divine fetus herself because she wanted to leave it for Jun Xiaoyao. Is that so? That's too stupid. Wouldn't it be better to refine it herself? Who knows? Do you think that Jiang Xingyi is having an affair with Jun Xiaoyao?" "I see. No wonder. Women in love are indeed brainless. But I heard that Jiang Xingyi is the Jun family's Son of God's aunt. This relationship, if you ask me." Just as the sky pride from the ancient star field was about to say something, the other sky prides from the ancient star field suddenly froze. He suddenly realized that the faces of the surrounding prodigies who were facing him suddenly froze. Then, the blood drained from their faces and their lips trembled as if they had seen something terrifying. "What's wrong with you?" the sky pride from the ancient star field asked in confusion. "What did you just say? Say it again?" A voice as cold as the abyss sounded from behind the sky pride. The prodigy's body suddenly stopped, and he turned around shakily. He saw a white-robed figure with a face as cold as the heavens. June. The sky prides felt as if their throats were blocked. They could not speak. Jun Xiaoyao did not even move a finger as he looked at the man with a cold gaze. Puff, puff, puff. The sky pride's primordial spirits exploded. Their heads exploded like scarlet fireworks. In an instant, the commotion attracted the attention of all the cultivators outside the barren heaven battlefield. The white-robed figure exuded a cold, killing intent that shook the heavens and caused the universe to tremble. The great stars in the universe exploded with every step Jun Xiaoyao took. With every step, the wind and clouds stirred. His killing intent overturned the galaxy. The white-robed killing god had finally descended. Chapter 577. It's the son of God of the Jun family. He actually came out of the 19th level of the infernal star. Oh my god, that aura seems to want to destroy my soul. Jun Xiaoyao's arrival undoubtedly ignited the entire atmosphere. It was like a huge rock falling into the sea, causing a huge uproar. It's the son of God of the Jun family. Deep in the starry sky, Supreme Du Tuo's eyelids trembled slightly when he saw Jun Xiaoyao. He could feel the extreme murderous intent emanating from Jun Xiaoyao, which seemed to freeze all the stars in the sky. What kind of monster is the son of God of the Jun family? His cultivation has reached the saint great perfection? After sensing Jun Xiaoyao's cultivation, even Supreme Du Tuo's face twitched. He was AF * king pervert. With Jun Xiaoyao here, how could there be room for other geniuses to rise? The cultivators around the barren heaven battlefield also felt Jun Xiaoyao's aura, and their eyes almost popped out of their sockets. Saint great perfection? Oh my god! Terrifying, too terrifying. I thought Jun Xiaoyao would have a hard time against Yi Guchen, but now it seems that I was overthinking. And I heard that the son of God of the Jun family has cultivated 4 strands of divine qi. He's not human. Saint great perfection and 4 strands of divine qi. If Jun Xiaoyao claimed to be second, who would dare to claim to be first? At this moment, Jun Xiaoyao descended on the barren heaven battlefield like a god of death in white. Behind him, golden-winged rock, Mu Yuehan, 9-headed lion, goddess of eternal calamity, Xiao Xian'er and the others followed. They didn't say anything because they knew that Jun Xiaoyao was in a bad mood. When Jun Xiaoyao was in a bad mood, he wanted to kill. If the son of God of the Jun family enters the barren heaven battlefield, won't Long Xuhuang and the others be finished? Who knows, but they definitely won't have an easy time. Some cultivators began to mourn for Long Xuhuang and the others. However, some people believed that with the strength of Long Xuhuang and the others, even if they could not defeat Jun Xiaoyao, they should still be able to escape. However, what puzzled everyone was that Jun Xiaoyao did not rush into the battlefield immediately. Instead, he stood with his hands clasped behind his back, and his eyes were as cold as the abyss. What is the son of God of the Jun family doing? Everyone was astonished. Even utmost exalted Du Tuo felt this to be inconceivable. Could it be that Jun Xiaoyao didn't care about Jiang Xingyi's safety? At this moment, apart from the cold killing intent in Jun Xiaoyao's eyes, there was also a little helplessness and a sigh. Sister Xingyi, you're too silly. Such a precious divine fetus, yet she had not allowed him to use it. Instead, she had risked her life to protect it, leaving it for him. Jun Xiaoyao knew that it was very difficult for him to fall in love with someone, let alone love someone to death. However, this didn't mean that Jun Xiaoyao was emotionless. Jiang Xingyi had already gone to this extent. How could Jun Xiaoyao remain indifferent? It was because of this that Jun Xiaoyao's eyes were filled with determination. In the next moment, he slowly raised his hand and activated the strength of a perfected saint to the extreme. Waves of sealing runes appeared in the void and spread across the entire barren heaven battlefield. All the cultivators saw that the sealing runes covered the galaxy and spanned across the battlefield. It was like an inverted bowl that was about to seal the entire barren heaven battlefield. Seal of the Immortal. Third seal. As Jun Xiaoyao finished speaking, the sealing power was completely unleashed. Endless divine light was released, trying to seal the entire barren heaven battlefield. With Jun Xiaoyao's strength after his breakthrough, he could already use the third seal of the Immortal Seal. This seal was even more powerful than the second seal of the Immortal Seal. The son of God of the Jun family wants to seal the entire barren heaven battlefield. What is he doing? Seeing Jun Xiaoyao's actions, the countless cultivators present were in an uproar. Since ancient times, no one had ever sealed the barren heaven battlefield like Jun Xiaoyao. Jun Xiaoyao was the first. The son of God of the Jun family, what are you doing? Supreme Du Tuo couldn't help but ask. He was in charge of maintaining order in the barren heaven battlefield. Jun Xiaoyao's actions were undoubtedly breaking the rules. Close the door and kill the dog. Jun Xiaoyao simply uttered those 4 words, yet the murderous intent emanating from his words was hair-raising. The son of God of the Jun family is closing the door and killing the dog. He's not going to let anyone go. At this moment, everyone finally understood Jun Xiaoyao's intentions. He sealed the entire barren heaven battlefield because he didn't want to let anyone who attacked Jiang Xingyi go. Anyone who tried to harm Jiang Xingyi had to die. Ruthless, too ruthless. The son of God of the Jun family is the most ruthless person in the world. Can he do it? Long Xuhuang and the others aren't the only ones dealing with Jiang Xingyi. There are hundreds of powerful cultivators and nearly 1,000 geniuses. Some of the geniuses couldn't help but shudder. Other than the geniuses who were chasing after Jiang Xingyi, there were also some powerful cultivators who were responsible for blocking the geniuses of the Jiang family and the Jun family. If all of them were added together, there would definitely be more than 1,000 of them. Could Jun Xiaoyao kill all of them by himself? Most importantly, these geniuses were the elite seeds of the barren heaven mystic realm. If they all died in the barren heaven battlefield, wouldn't that mean that not many people would be able to step onto the ancient road of ultimate? Shouldn't the son of God of the Jun family restrain himself? Supreme Du Tuo felt a little anxious. If it were an ordinary genius doing this, he would have stopped him long ago. However, the one who did it was the son of God of the Jun family. This made him feel helpless. Don't provoke me, Jun Xiaoyao said coldly. He took a step forward, crossed the void, and stepped into the barren heaven battlefield. Like a lion entering a flock of sheep, he was about to start a massacre. Looking at Jun Xiaoyao's back as he left, all the geniuses felt that something shocking was about to happen. Supreme Du Tuo's face was also extremely stiff. He was the dignified guardian of the Imperial Pass, yet he was ignored like this. However, when he thought of Jun Xiaoyao's identity as the son of God of the Jun family, he could only sigh helplessly. Are the young people nowadays all so immoral? Jun Xiaoyao's actions were too ruthless. He sealed the entire barren heaven battlefield, leaving no way for others to survive. As the entire barren heaven battlefield was enveloped by the third seal of prohibition, the geniuses on the battlefield naturally felt it too. What's going on? Is the barren heaven battlefield going to be sealed in advance? Many geniuses were bewildered. Oh no, I'm afraid the situation has changed. Let's go to Long Xuhuang's side first. Some of the small giants who were attacking the geniuses of the Jiang family and the Jun family also felt that something was wrong. Gu Yan, the successor of the Battle Demon Cave, Tian Yao, the crown prince of the Jin dynasty, and the others all stopped fighting and rushed to Long Xuhuang's side. They felt that some kind of change might have happened. Let's go to Lord Grimm, Jun Lingsong and Jun Mulan. Jiang Luoli, Jiang Tianyan, and the others all followed closely behind. In an instant, almost all the geniuses in the entire barren heaven battlefield gathered towards Long Xuhuang and Jiang Xingyi. At the same time, in the deepest part of the barren heaven battlefield, a vast ancient battlefield like a giant island was suspended in the void. 5 dazzling jade seals that emitted the aura of the heavenly way rotated in the air. They were the 5 seals of Proving Way. At this moment, a black-robed figure sat cross-legged on the side with a blood-stained sword on his lap. It was Yi Guchen. When the sealing runes covered the sky above the barren heaven battlefield, Yi Guchen's closed eyes slowly opened. Is it finally here? Yi Guchen's eyes were deep as he looked at the sky. Chapter 578. All the geniuses in the barren heaven battlefield knew that something must have happened. However, they had no idea that Jun Xiaoyao was the one who caused all of that. At this moment, in the depths of the battlefield, Long Xuhuang and the others, who were hunting Jiang Xingyi, also felt that something was wrong. What's with that sealing power? Is the barren heaven battlefield going to be closed in advance? No matter what, let's get the divine fetus first. Long Xuhuang and the others had made such a big move to get the divine fetus. No unforeseen event could interrupt their plan. Damn it, this woman is so stubborn. The descendant of the crocodile ancestors' face darkened. Jiang Xingyi's willpower was too strong. Even though she was suppressed by the three of them, she still fought with all her might. She used all the trump cards of the Jiang family, along with the 3 strands of divine qi and the connate embryo. It would be troublesome for them to suppress her in a short time. At this moment, Long Xuhuang suddenly thought of something and said, Jiang Xingyi, I remember that you're Jun Xiaoyao's aunt. TSK, this relationship. Shut up. Jiang Xingyi heard this and her emotions were stirred. Even her breathing became unstable. Before this, no matter what Long Xuhuang said, she wouldn't care. Her mind was firm. But when this was mentioned, Jiang Xingyi couldn't calm down. This wasn't a taboo thing, and she wasn't related to Jun Xiaoyao by blood. But if word got out, she would be criticized. Haha, Jun Xiaoyao's charm is really strong. Even his aunt can't resist it. Seeing this, Long Xuhuang's eyes flashed and she continued to attack with obscenities. No matter how firm Jiang Xingyi's mind was, she was still a woman. She had already endured too much. How despicable! In the distance, even Yan Rumring, Ji Qingyi, and the others frowned. Disgust flashed in their eyes. Long Xuhuang's methods were indeed despicable and didn't match her status as a genius. Jiang Xingyi's unstable state of mind was immediately caught by Long Xuhuang and the others. Dragon Phoenix Sky-Flipping Seal. The Dragon Illusionary Phoenix activated its ultimate move once again. A huge Dragon Phoenix seal appeared in the sky, bringing with it the might of 3 streaks of immortal qi as it came crashing down. Immortal Heavenly Phoenix slash. Huang Juyan slashed down with her phoenix feather blade. A crimson blade light that was tens of thousands of feet long slashed down like the wings of a divine phoenix. Savage Desolation Art. The crocodile ancestor's descendant also unleashed a powerful attack. Murderous aura overflowed into the heavens as he attacked. Boom, boom, boom. The sound of violent vibrations pierced everyone's eardrums. Sister Xingyi. In the distance, a blood-like cry of a cuckoo rang out. Jiang Luoli and the others had arrived. I'm too late. Lord Grimm and the others also arrived. Their expressions were grave. Of course, Gu Yan, the successor of the Battle Demon Cave, and the crown prince of the Jin dynasty had also rushed over. In the endless smoke and dust, the sound of coughing blood could be heard. As the smoke and dust dissipated, Jiang Xingyi's figure appeared before everyone's eyes. Her snow-white robe was stained with blood, and her fair chin was also dripping with blood. Cracks began to appear on her sparkling and translucent skin. She was like an exquisite porcelain that was beginning to crack. After taking 3 powerful moves from Long Xuhuang and the others, coupled with her unstable state of mind, Jiang Xingyi had suffered an unprecedented injury. She coughed up blood again, spitting out broken organs. Jiang Xingyi's heart meridians were directly shattered. If it weren't for the tenacity of a saint's vitality, Jiang Xingyi's physical body would have been destroyed. At this moment, the power of the connate Dao embryo in Jiang Xingyi's body surged, as if it wanted to attract some kind of power. Suddenly, a crystalline divine fetus was pulled out of the spatial artifact by the power of the connate Dao embryo. This divine fetus was incomparably clear, as if it contained a universe with dazzling galaxies, intertwining immortal Dao laws, and surging immortal qi. When this divine fetus appeared, Long Xuhuang and the others' eyes burned with passion, and even their breathing quickened. A divine fetus. At the very least, it was the energy source left behind by a remnant immortal. If refined, no matter how bad it was, it could cultivate 2 or 3 strands of immortal qi. This would be extremely beneficial for the future expedition on the ancient road of ultimate. The Khanate Tao embryo had pulled the divine fetus out for Jiang Xingyi to refine. If Jiang Xingyi refined the divine fetus, not only would she be able to completely recover from her injuries, but her cultivation would also skyrocket, and she would be able to kill Long Xuhuang and the others. No. This divine fetus is for Xiaoyao. Jiang Xingyi continued, coughing up blood, and the blood dripped onto the divine fetus. She held the divine fetus tightly with one hand. This was her gift to Jun Xiaoyao. Seeing this scene, even the passers-by who were watching the show couldn't help but reveal moved expressions on their faces. Sister Xingyi. Tears welled up in Jiang Luoli's eyes. Now, she didn't want to be jealous or envious. She only wanted Jiang Xingyi to survive this calamity. Take the divine fetus. Long Xuhuang and the others' eyes were red. The 3 of them attacked again, suppressing Jiang Xingyi. Jiang Luoli, Jiang Tianyan, Lord Grimm, Jun Lingsong, Xiao Maxian, and the others all came to her aid. However, they were stopped by Gu Yan, the successor of Battle Demon Cave, the crown prince of the Jin dynasty, and other minor giants. There were more than 100 minor giants present. How terrifying was this number! Many of them had joined because they disliked Jun Xiaoyao. After all, Jun Xiaoyao had casually killed the Sea God's 3rd prince, the Void Sword Master, and the others. They were all prodigies from the ancient star field. Subconsciously, they all thought of Jun Xiaoyao as a lofty person who looked down on the ancient star field's prodigies like pigs and dogs. However, that was indeed the truth. Jun Xiaoyao did indeed see them as pigs and dogs. Splat! Blood flowed. Not only was Jiang Xingyi's snow-white robe stained with blood, but even her snow-white hair was dyed red. Jiang Xingyi, why are you so stubborn? Are you really willing to give up your life for this divine fetus? Feng Juyan shouted coldly. She held the supreme artifact Phoenix Feather Blade and slashed down at Jiang Xingyi, who was no longer able to resist. Jiang Xingyi's delicate body cracked, and her physical body was about to collapse. If Feng Juyan's blade landed, Jiang Xingyi's body and primordial spirit would definitely be cut in half. However, Jiang Xingyi's lips curled into a blood-stained smile. I miss you so much that I will die 9 times for you without regret. Jiang Xingyi felt her vision blur. After being hunted for so long, she really wanted to rest and sleep. At this moment, a gentle voice, with a hint of a sigh, slowly rang in Jiang Xingyi's ears. Sister Xingyi, why are you so silly? Am I hallucinating? Jiang Xingyi's mind was groggy. She felt her delicate body being pulled into a warm embrace. A sense of peace that she had never felt before flowed in her heart, like a drifting boat returning to the harbor. Sister Xingyi, it's okay. Leave the rest to me. Chapter 579. At this moment, the entire barren heaven battlefield was dead silent. Time and space seemed to have frozen. All the sounds seemed to have disappeared. Everyone's eyes fell on the white-robed figure that had appeared. He was like an immortal white-robed god, crossing the void and arriving here. Huang Jiyan's full-powered attack was casually caught by the figure with 2 fingers. His other arm was wrapped around the beautiful woman in blood-stained snow-white clothes. Shocked expressions slowly appeared on the faces of all the geniuses. Jun Xiaoyao. It's the son of God of the Jun family. Countless shocked exclamations rang out from all directions. Everyone was shocked and took a deep breath. Jun Xiaoyao? Long Xuhuang and the others were also shocked. They did not expect Jun Xiaoyao to come out of the 19th level of hell. They did not expect him to arrive at the barren heaven battlefield so quickly. Jun Xiaoyao, Huang Jiyan was also shocked. His attack, which he had unleashed with all his might, was caught between 2 fingers by Jun Xiaoyao. One had to know that it was a supreme weapon. With the addition of his own strength, an ordinary saint would be split in half. However, Jun Xiaoyao blocked the attack with 2 fingers. Then, Huang Juyen's expression suddenly froze, because he saw the look in Jun Xiaoyao's eyes. As cold as ice. As cold as the abyss. That cold, murderous intent seemed to be able to freeze the void for thousands of miles. Die! Jun Xiaoyao's words were like the judgment of the heavens. Vast divine power, accompanied by the power of the universe's origin, surged out of Jun Xiaoyao's body. Boom! Terrifying divine might burst, and the phoenix feather blade, which was a supreme weapon, crumbled inch by inch under Jun Xiaoyao's finger. The remaining force did not diminish and directly bombarded Huang Juyen. Huang Juyen's entire body was drowned in the vast divine light. Ah! A shrill scream was heard. Huang Juyen's body exploded into pieces, and a bloody mist filled the sky. She had defeated Huang Juyen in one move. The surrounding geniuses were stupefied. Their souls were trembling and their scalps were about to explode. Huang Juyen, who had cultivated 3 strands of immortal qi, was actually unable to withstand a single blow from Jun Xiaoyao. Xiaoyao Gij. Xiaoyao. Lord Son of God. Young Master. Jiang Luoli, Lord Grim, Jun Lingsong, Yan Qingying EU, and the others were all excited. In the eyes of the enemy, Jun Xiaoyao was the Grim Reaper. In their eyes, he was the savior of the world. Xiaoyao. You're finally here. This is for you. Jiang Shengyi, who was held in Jun Xiaoyao's arms, smiled through his blood-stained lips. The person she had been longing for had finally arrived. Jun Xiaoyao had never disappointed anyone. She held the divine fetus, which was stained with her blood, and pushed it toward Jun Xiaoyao. There was a satisfied smile on her blood-stained face. Her body was about to collapse, and she was severely injured. Jiang Shengyi's first thought was to give the divine fetus to Jun Xiaoyao. Even someone as indifferent as Jun Xiaoyao was slightly touched at this moment. Sister Shengyi, let me take care of these bastards first. Jun Xiaoyao reached out to wipe away the blood on Jiang Shengyi's face. Jiang Shengyi nodded slightly. She, who was heavily injured, finally could not take it anymore and fainted. The black hair on Jun Xiaoyao's forehead covered his eyes. The woman in his arms had turned white overnight because of him. In order to give the divine fetus to him so that he could become stronger, she was willing to be hunted down and injured, rather than refine the divine fetus. Jun Xiaoyao felt that this was too much, and all he could do was for Jiang Shengyi massacre the world. A terrifying and boundless aura spread out from Jun Xiaoyao's body. The aura of a saint at the peak of the great perfection covered the entire area. Heaven and earth shook and the stars trembled. Many geniuses felt suffocated just by feeling this aura. Their bodies were about to be pressed to the ground. The son of God of the Jun family is actually a saint at the peak of the great perfection. This is too terrifying. In all directions, cries of shock rose and fell one after another. Jun Xiaoyao you. Long Xu Wang's expression changed drastically. Sensing this aura, his Taoist heart became unstable. No. I have the invincible dragon phoenix body. I will not lose, Long Xu Wang said to himself, gritting his teeth. The ferocious aura of the descendant of the crocodile ancestor was also suppressed by Jun Xiaoyao's vast aura. He seemed to have turned from an ancient ferocious beast into a small insect. How is this possible? The descendant of the crocodile ancestor could not believe that Jun Xiaoyao's strength had reached such a terrifying level. At this moment, Huang Juyen, who had been beaten into a bloody mist, suddenly recovered in a burst of violent flames. It's the Phoenix Life technique. Some genius's eyes flashed. Huang Juyen cultivated the Phoenix Life technique and could be reborn in a desperate situation 9 times. This was an extremely monstrous technique. Jun Xiaoyao's move had helped Huang Juyen to undergo the last nirvana. However, after being reborn in the flames, Huang Juyen did not have the slightest hint of joy on his face. His face was as pale as paper, and there was still a trace of fear in his eyes. Just now, He was like an ant in Jun Xiaoyao's hands. He had been casually crushed without any resistance. That feeling was like facing the vast heavens. Even if Huang Jiyan had undergone nirvana 9 times, his bloodline had transformed, and his strength had increased tremendously. But he felt that he was still an ant in front of Jun Xiaoyao. Jun Xiaoyao, do you think you can deal with all of us by yourself? Long Xuhuang shouted coldly. He wanted to pull all the geniuses of the small powerhouses onto his boat. Jun Xiaoyao did not say a word. The entire barren heaven battlefield fell into an eerie silence. But it was this silence that was even more suffocating. Sweat appeared on the foreheads of Long Xuhuang and the others. Clearly, their hearts were not calm. Finally, Jun Xiaoyao slowly raised a hand. A terrifying power that could destroy the world was surging out. Jun Xiaoyao did not say anything to Long Xuhuang and the others, because at this point, all ruthless words seemed pale and powerless. Blood and slaughter were the only things that could quell Jun Xiaoyao's rage. In Jun Xiaoyao's body, the power of the universe's origin surged out from the god's origin. At the same time, the power of sin surged. Light and darkness, the two powers, intertwined, fused, and gathered in Jun Xiaoyao's hands. At this moment, Jun Xiaoyao was like a god of creation and destruction. God's light and God's punishment, the two great Tao of origin abilities, merged in his hands and burst forth with unprecedented power. Light of the 3 realms, I bestow life. With a thought, darkness, the world will fall. Jun Xiaoyao hugged the unconscious Jiang Xingyi with one hand and raised his other hand high. The power of the two great Tao of origin abilities merged into one in his hands and burst forth with the power of destruction. Jun Xiaoyao covered the sky with one hand and destroyed everything. Boom! An indescribable wave of destruction spread out with Jun Xiaoyao as the origin. It was as if 100 nuclear bombs had exploded at the same time, or as if thousands of stars had exploded at the same time. The surrounding ground caved in, and thick cracks spread in all directions like canyons. None of them could escape from this apocalyptic wave. Jun Xiaoyao's anger caused the world to sink and all living beings to die. Chapter 580. This destructive wave was like fate. No one could escape from it. However, this power was under Jun Xiaoyao's control. Within this destructive wave, whoever he wanted to live would live. Whoever he wanted to die would die. No! Long Xuhuang and the others let out earth-shattering roars. They pushed their strength to the extreme. Long Xuhuang activated her ancestral dragon and divine phoenix bloodlines with all her might and unleashed a powerful move. Huang Jiyan also let out a long roar and used her ultimate move. The descendant of the crocodile ancestor revealed his true form and turned into a fierce crocodile covered in scales. He also used his full strength. Not only them, but all the geniuses who had participated in this encirclement plan were also resisting with all their might. There were also the small giants of the ancient star zone, such as Gu Yan, the successor of the Battle Demon Cave, and the crown prince of the Jin dynasty. They all used all their trump cards and tried their best to resist this destructive wave. But it was useless. Jun Xiaoyao's all-out attack was extremely terrifying. One had to know that Jun Xiaoyao had almost never used his full strength when fighting with others. Even when dealing with Yu Fuzi and the others, Jun Xiaoyao had only used 40% of his strength and killed them easily. Now, however, Jun Xiaoyao had unleashed all of his powers due to his extreme rage. He even used the 2 fused divine abilities of the great Tao of origin. Who would be able to block such power? Not to mention saints. Even saint kings would have their bodies and primordial spirits exploded when facing Jun Xiaoyao's destructive move. The destructive wave swept across the entire barren heaven battlefield like a wild wave. Not only the barren heaven battlefield, but even all the geniuses outside the barren heaven battlefield who were watching felt a terrifying power that made their scalps tingle and their bodies tremble. What kind of power is that? Could it be that there are some ancient strong cultivators sleeping in the barren heaven battlefield? Some cultivators were shocked, thinking that some ancient strong cultivators had awakened. As for Supreme Du Tuo, after sensing this power, he also took a deep breath. There was deep shock in his eyes. The Son of God of the Jun family sure is generous. Du Tuo felt a headache coming on. When the barren heaven battlefield ended, who knew how many geniuses would be able to make it out alive? Closing the door and killing the dog was too ruthless. At that moment, in the barren heaven battlefield, Jun Xiaoyao's one move had sunk almost half of the desolate heaven battlefield. Previously, Jun Xiaoyao had used this move to pierce through Hell's Star. From this, it could be seen how powerful this move was. Whether it was Long Shuhuang, Huang Zhiyan, or the descendants of the crocodile ancestor, or Gu Yan, the successor of the battle demon cave, or the crown prince of the Jin dynasty, none of them were able to block this move. Their bodies shattered inch by inch in the destructive fluctuations. No matter how they resisted, it was difficult for them to survive. Jun Xiaoyao, aren't you afraid that Zulong and Wanhuang Spirit Mountain will start an immortal war if you kill us? The Dragon Phoenix struggled and shouted angrily. As the Dragon Phoenix body that had been carefully cultivated by the two forces, if he died, it would definitely cause a huge commotion. Don't worry, they are already waiting for you in the Yellow Spring, Jun Xiaoyao said coldly. What? His words shocked many geniuses. Their eyelids twitched. What did Jun Xiaoyao mean? What is the meaning of this? Long Shuhuang shouted as she struggled with all her might. The immortal war has ended long ago. The four Archean royalty no longer exists. Jun Xiaoyao's words made everyone fall silent. Many people were stunned and in disbelief. Of course, a small number of geniuses had vaguely heard some news, but they couldn't be sure. Now it seemed that the truth was indeed so. No, impossible. You are shaking my Dao heart. Long Shuhuang roared, not daring to believe this. How could the four Archean royalty all be destroyed? Huang Zhiyan and the descendant of the crocodile ancestor also couldn't believe it. However, it didn't matter whether they believed it or not. Jun Xiaoyao didn't want to waste time talking nonsense with them. He activated his divine power to the extreme and merged the two great paths of origin. The power was beyond Jun Xiaoyao's imagination. In the end, when Jun Xiaoyao stopped, the ground within a 10,000-mile radius was sunk. Countless cracks spread like canyons. As for the Dragon Phoenix and the others, they no longer existed. They were annihilated by this move. The three Archean royalty geniuses weren't the only ones. More than 100 giants, including Gu Yan, the descendant of the battle demon cave, the crown prince of the Tianyao Jin dynasty, were also crushed. There were also nearly 1,000 powerful geniuses from the ancient star zone. They couldn't have survived. They all exploded into blood mist and drifted in the air. A blood-red wind blew across the entire barren heaven battlefield. It was the residual blood floating in the air. At this moment, all the remaining geniuses felt a chill run down their spines. It was as if their bodies were soaked in a bone-chilling icy spring. They asked themselves, if Jun Xiaoyao's move was an indiscriminate attack, wouldn't they be in hell right now? Thinking of this, all the geniuses felt a chill run down their spines. Oh my God, one move, just one move, and the three Archean royalty geniuses, more than 100 giants and nearly 1,000 geniuses are all dead. Those 100 giants were all saints. I can't believe they were killed by the Son of God of the Jun family in one move. This is a record, isn't it? The voices of the geniuses from the barren heaven mystic realm were trembling. They couldn't believe what they were seeing. The news of Jun Xiaoyao killing 100 saints with one cauldron was not spread in the Emperor Road. However, all the geniuses had witnessed this scene with their own eyes. What you hear may be false, but what you see is true. What was happening in front of them was the most shocking. Even someone as scheming as Ji Qing took in a deep breath. She had already thought highly of Jun Xiaoyao. However, Jun Xiaoyao's improvement in strength had exceeded her expectations. Now, Ji Qingyi was glad that she had been cautious. Fortunately, she had not attacked Jiang Xingyi. She believed that if she had attacked him, she would have been in grave danger. There was no way Jun Xiaoyao would go easy on her just because she was a beautiful woman. Now, do you still have doubts? Ji Qingyi asked Chen Fei, who was beside her. Chen Fei didn't say anything, and her face was slightly pale. To be honest, she was also stunned by Jun Xiaoyao's ruthless method. He had killed 1,000 geniuses with one move, including more than 100 saints. What kind of strength was that? Furthermore, the aura emanating from Jun Xiaoyao when he arrived earlier made her feel that he was even more sacred than her master. However, Chen Fei immediately bit her lip. She believed that if her master used his full strength, he would not be weaker than Jun Xiaoyao. After Jun Xiaoyao killed the group of enemies with one move, he turned his attention to Jiang Xingyi. Jiang Xingyi was severely injured. His body was cracked, and his crystal-clear skin was full of cracks. His heart meridian was also shattered. This kind of injury was not good for a man, let alone a woman like Jiang Xingyi. Although Jiang Xingyi had a Khanate Taoist embryo, the strengths of the Khanate Taoist embryo were in Tao comprehension, divine powers, dermic powers, and so on. It did not have much of a boost to the physical body. Therefore, Jiang Xingyi's physical injuries were very serious. Jun Xiaoyao took out many supreme divine pills and precious medicines. He even took out more than one of the rare elixirs of immortality and refined them into Jiang Xingyi's body. However, Jiang Xingyi's situation was still not optimistic. Jun Xiaoyao frowned slightly. Then, without hesitation, he used his fingers as a sword and cut his wrist. Drops of golden sacred blood dripped into Jiang Xingyi's cherry lip. Chapter 581. Jun Xiaoyao's body had the potential to become an emperor. Every drop of blood contained the power of creation and endless vitality. If an ordinary prodigy refined a drop of Jun Xiaoyao's blood, he would become a monstrous body-tempering prodigy. Even Jun Xiaoyao himself thought that he had become Tang Sanzang's flesh. From this, it could be seen how precious Jun Xiaoyao's flesh and blood were. Jun Xiaoyao's expression did not change. He cut his wrist and the precious blood flowed into Jiang Xingyi's cherry lip. Some of the surrounding geniuses looked on with fervent eyes. Jun Xiaoyao's saint blood was no weaker than a great creation. If they could obtain it, their bodies would definitely be able to reach a higher level. However, at this moment, no one was stupid enough to have such thoughts. Jiang Luoli and the others also gathered around. She looked at Jun Xiaoyao with her big eyes, her eyes filled with endless longing and longing. She had not seen Jun Xiaoyao for a long time. Given her personality, she would have given Jun Xiaoyao a big hug and latched onto him like an octopus when they finally met after such a long time apart. But now, as he looked at the unconscious and miserable Jiang Xingyi, he couldn't help but sigh. Looking at Jun Xiaoyao, who was cutting his wrist and feeding Jiang Xingyi with his saint blood, Jiang Luoli suddenly felt that she was a little redundant. Jiang Luoli, who had always been lively, was silent. She just stood by the side silently. The person she missed was so close, but she could not hug him. "Xiaoyao, you're finally here." Lord Grimm and the others went forward to greet him. At the same time, they also looked at Jun Xiaoyao in surprise. Jun Xiaoyao's strength shocked even Lord Grimm. Even someone as powerful as him would have had a hard time dealing with Jun Xiaoyao at the moment. "Master!" Yan Qingying, Yu, and the others went forward and cupped their hands. There was also a hint of admiration in their eyes. Their master was getting stronger and stronger. The two of them felt honored. Princess Longji bit her lip, her expression complicated. She recalled that when she had just broken the seal and entered the world, she had only regarded Jun Xiaoyao as an ordinary heavenly son of the generation. Who would have thought that Jun Xiaoyao would grow to such a terrifying level? Even she, the princess of the Dragon Clan, could only look up at his back. I thought that I would be able to catch up to him if I stepped onto the Emperor Road ahead of time. In the end, haha. As proud as Princess Longji was, she was completely impressed. She had no choice but to admit defeat. It's still not enough, Jun Xiaoyao frowned. His sacred blood could help Jiang Shunyi recover from his physical injuries. However, it was unable to completely eradicate her hidden dangers. In this way, even if Jiang Shunyi recovered in the future, there would be a huge problem with his physical body, which would affect his Dao attainment in the future. Jiang Shunyi did this for Jun Xiaoyao. Jun Xiaoyao would never allow Jiang Shunyi to have any side effect. Perhaps I can merge this divine fetus into Sister Shunyi's body, Jun Xiaoyao murmured. With his monstrous talent, the divine fetus was just icing on the cake. At this moment, Jiang Luoli heard this and hesitated for a while. She bit her lip and said, Brother Xiaoyao, Sister Shunyi did this to keep the divine fetus. If you do this, won't Sister Shunyi's efforts be in vain? I believe that when Sister Shunyi wakes up, she will definitely not want to see the divine fetus fused with her. This is her intention. Jun Xiaoyao was stunned by Jiang Luoli's words. He suddenly realized that this delicate and cute girl had matured a lot. Of course, it was only in terms of thinking. Her appearance was still the same as before. It was as if she had become a legal loli. That's right. Little brother Xiaoyao, if you do this, won't you be letting down Jiang Shunyi's intentions? Xiao Maxian also jumped up and said. She looked at Jun Xiaoyao with sparkling eyes. Her decision to form a relationship with Jun Xiaoyao was simply too correct. That's true, Jun Xiaoyao said. Then, he sent someone to call Xiao Xian, and the others over from the edge of the barren heaven battlefield. While they were waiting, a discordant voice suddenly sounded. You are the son of God of the Jun family. You are indeed, as the rumors say. You have some ability. Many people were surprised when they heard this voice. These words seemed to be praising Jun Xiaoyao, but they felt that they were disdainful and condescending. Everyone looked over and saw that it was a girl in a red dress beside Ji Qingyi. Who is that girl? How dare she speak to the son of God of the Jun family in such a tone? Shh! I heard that this girl is the follower of one of the outlawed sky prides. I see. No wonder she is so confident. Some people clicked their tongues. Not everyone could be called an outlawed sky pride. A true outlawed sky pride had to be at least a boundary emperor. This meant that if an outlawed sky pride did not die, they would at least reach the boundary emperor realm in the future. In fact, strictly speaking, Jun Xiaoyao was already qualified to be called an outlawed sky pride. Chen Fei Yu. Ji Qingyi's eyes flashed. She did not expect Chen Fei to act on her own. Jun Xiaoyao ignored Chen Fei's words. His attention was now focused on Jiang Shunyi's body. He was using his sacred blood to sustain her body. He did not have the time to care about some random person. Seeing Jun Xiaoyao ignoring her, Chen Fei's expression changed slightly. As a follower of a taboo successor, she was respected everywhere. Although Jun Xiaoyao was powerful, he could not ignore her like this. Son of God of the Jun family, since you don't want to use the divine fetus, why don't you give it to my master? My master will definitely think highly of you. He might even make you his right-hand man. Chen Fei's words stunned many sky prides at the scene. Chen Fei's master was a terrifying and powerful outlawed sky pride in the future. However, Jun Xiaoyao was not a pushover either. His status and strength were definitely not weaker than that taboo successor. What was the meaning of asking Jun Xiaoyao to be that successor's right-hand man? Did this girl get kicked in the head by a donkey? Who knows? Those followers all think that their master is the strongest. It's normal for them to look down on other sky prides. Sounds of discussion could be heard from all directions. However, most of them were mocking Chen Fei, thinking that she was overestimating herself. Chen Fei's expression darkened when she heard the surrounding sky prides mocking. How dare you? Who do you think you are? Who does your master think he is? Yan Qingying yelled coldly and released her killing intent. In her mind, no one could be compared to Jun Xiaoyao. I'm just telling the truth. You'll definitely benefit a lot if you can form a good relationship with my master, Chen Fei said lightly. Yan Qingying could not hold it in any longer. Her beautiful eyes were cold, like a dark queen. She attacked. The fallen wings on her back flapped as she activated the devouring god demonic technique and attacked Chen Fei directly. Chen Fei's expression changed. She did not expect Jun Xiaoyao's follower to attack her. 2 streaks of immortal qi appeared on the surface of her body. Yan Qingying did the same. Boom. After dozens of exchanges, Yan Qingying used the devouring god demonic technique to suppress Chen Fei. She was going to refine her alive. No, you can't kill me. If you kill me, you'll be tainted with great karma. My master won't let you go. Chen Fei screamed. She did not expect Jun Xiaoyao's follower to be so powerful. In the end, Chen Fei's body was crushed, ground, and devoured by the devouring vortex. The sacred body of the ancients is shackled by the heavens. You can't attain enlightenment. You're destined to be a supporting character for my master. Chen Fei let out a final scream of resentment. Then, she was completely refined into a ball of pure flesh and blood energy by Yan Qingying. Ji Qingyi, who was watching from the side, had no intention of helping at all. Chapter 582. Logically speaking, Ji Qingyi was also the assistant of the mysterious successor of the human immortal sect. She should have helped Chen Fei. At the very least, she should have protected her life. However, Ji Qingyi did not do that. Jun Xiaoyao's attention was focused on Jiang Xingyi the entire time. He did not even bother with Chen Fei. However, Ji Qingyi believed that if she really intervened and protected Chen Fei, there was no doubt that Jun Xiaoyao would crush him with lightning speed, or even kill him. Ji Qingyi had hidden her intentions well. Naturally, she would not do such a stupid thing. After killing Chen Fei, Yan Qingying turned around and knelt on one knee before Jun Xiaoyao. She cupped her fists and said, "I'm sorry, young master. I was too impulsive. I might have offended a terrifying person because of this. Please punish me." Yan Qingying knew that the outlawed sky pride behind Chen Fei was definitely not an ordinary person. Even Jun Xiaoyao might have trouble dealing with him. Jun Xiaoyao finally said, "She's just courting death. It has nothing to do with you. As for the person behind her, I don't care." Jun Xiaoyao's tone was low. He was not in a good mood. There should be some fish that escaped from the encirclement and did not come here. "I'll have to trouble you to kill them," Jun Xiaoyao said. "Could it be that sealing power is?" Xiao Maxian covered her mouth in disbelief. "That's right. I set it up. Don't even think about escaping." Jun Xiaoyao's eyes were as cold as ice. Many of the sky prides around felt a chill in their hearts. Messing with Jun Xiaoyao meant that there was no way out for him. The situation was indeed as Jun Xiaoyao had imagined. Some of the sky prides and minor figureheads who had participated in the encirclement did not appear here. They were frantically running away, trying to leave the desolate heaven battlefield. However, when they reached the edge, they encountered the third forbidden immortal seal. "What kind of sealing rune is this? Get out! I want to get out! Let me out!" "That Jun Xiaoyao is a demon. No, he's even more terrifying than a demon." Many of the ancient star field's sky prides and little tycoons were shouting in panic. Their minds were about to collapse. Jun Xiaoyao's power was too terrifying. He had killed hundreds of sages and thousands of sky prides with one strike. It was like the arrival of the Grim Reaper. Azura exited seclusion. However, no matter what they did, they could not break the third seal. Looking at those struggling and roaring geniuses on the battlefield, the cultivators outside the battlefield felt a chill run down their spines. What did the divine child of the Jun family do to anger the heavens and the people? Why would it cause such a reaction? Some of the cultivators outside were still unaware of the situation. Following that, Lord Grimm, Jiang Tianyan, and the rest of the geniuses from the two clans began to slaughter the fleeing geniuses. Anyone who participated in the encirclement and suppression plan? Even if they were just here to join in the fun, none of them would be left alive? They were all killed. The entire barren heaven battlefield was littered with corpses and the ground was dyed red with blood. It could be said that the barren heaven battlefield this time? It was bloodier and crueler than any of the previous ones. And the source of the bloodshed? It was Jun Xiaoyao. Jun Xiaoyao was angry? Corpses were everywhere. Sigh, with so many dead geniuses, the barren heaven mystic realm will probably be in chaos again. But with the means of the Jun family, the Jiang family, and the Jun Emperor's Hall, it will only be a small disturbance. Du Tuo looked at the bloody scene in front of him, and shook his head slightly. Even if the other geniuses were capable, they would not dare to kill so wantonly. Only Jun Xiaoyao had the confidence to be so presumptuous without any scruples about the consequences. Not long after, Xiao Xian and the others arrived. As soon as they arrived, Jun Xiaoyao said to Xiao Xian, "Let out your blood." What? Xiao Xian looked dazed. "Cut your wrists," Jun Xiaoyao said. Xiao Xian immediately cried. Celestial spiritual liquid kept flowing out of her eyes. "Big brother, are you going to eat me? What did I do wrong?" "Boo-hoo!" Xiao Xian cried and said. "I will compensate you with the qi of all creation when the time comes," Jun Xiaoyao said. "Really?" Xiao Xian only stopped crying when the qi of all creation was mentioned. Tears stained her eyelashes. For her, the qi of all creation was very attractive. Under Jun Xiaoyao's soft and hard attacks, Xiao Xian still let out her blood. Her blood was not red. Instead, it was sparkling and translucent. It emitted a fragrance that made people who smelled it feel as if they were floating in the air. Jun Xiaoyao's sacred blood and Xiao Xian's blood, the king of immortal marrow. No matter how serious Jiang Xingyi's physical injuries were, he recovered. But this is still not enough. Jun Xiaoyao shook his head slightly. With such a rescue, Jiang Xingyi's life was not in danger, but there would be hidden injuries in his physical body, which would be detrimental to his cultivation in the future. Thinking of this, Jun Xiaoyao pondered for a moment. Then, he suddenly used his fingers as a sword and cut open his chest. "Brother Xiaoyao." Seeing this scene, Jiang Luoli's little face turned pale. The others were also moved. In Jun Xiaoyao's chest, in addition to the sparkling bone of supremacy, there was also a beating heart. The heart of the sacred body of the ancients. Jun Xiaoyao's body trembled slightly, and drops of sacred body blood essence condensed. This sacred body blood essence was not the same as the sacred blood from before. Sacred body blood essence could only be condensed in the heart of a sacred body. This was the source of the vast qi and blood essence of a sacred body. After forcing out more than 10 drops of sacred body blood essence, even with Jun Xiaoyao's strength, his face was slightly pale and his lips were as white as paper. Of course, this was only temporary. Jun Xiaoyao's physical body was almost flawless, and he had the physique of an emperor. It would not be long before his sacred body blood essence was condensed again. However, when this scene fell into the eyes of the others, they were extremely shocked. He cut open his chest and forced out the sacred body blood essence in his heart. What kind of sacrifice was this? However, Jun Xiaoyao's face did not show any trace of pain. His eyes were as calm as water, as if he had just done something insignificant. He would not lick any woman. However, this was what he should do as a man. "Brother Xiaoyao." Jiang Luoli's heart clenched as she watched from the side, her eyes filled with tears. At this moment, she suddenly felt a little envious of Jiang Xingyi. If the person who fell was me, would Brother Xiaoyao save me like this? Jiang Luoli said to herself. The sacred body blood essence was refined into Jiang Xingyi's body and finally gathered in his heart. With this, Jiang Xingyi's body would slowly recover. Not only would it not leave any sequelae, but it would also make up for the shortcomings of Jiang Xingyi's physical body. In the future, Jiang Xingyi's physical body might not be comparable to the sacred body of the ancients, but it would definitely surpass most of the body-refining geniuses. Jiang Xingyi's injuries were stabilized. Jun Xiaoyao also breathed a sigh of relief. To him, even if he killed thousands of geniuses with one move, if anything happened to Jiang Xingyi, he would still feel guilty. And now, he could finally put his heart at ease. However, when this news spread out of the barren heaven battlefield, it caused a shocking storm. Chapter 583. Many of the geniuses that Jun Xiaoyao had killed had powerful background. All of them were heroes of their respective ancient star zones. Even though the Archean royalty behind Long Shuhuang and the others had been destroyed. But when the forces of the ancient star zones behind those geniuses joined forces, they were still an extremely terrifying force. After such a bloody massacre on the barren heaven battlefield, even the guardian of Hanggu Pass, Supreme Du Tuo, couldn't hide it. He could only tell the truth and send the news back to the Huangtian mystic realm. Otherwise, if he continued to hide it, it would cause even greater waves. As expected, when the news was sent back to the Huangtian mystic realm, it undoubtedly caused a huge commotion. This time, Jun Xiaoyao didn't kill 1 or 2 people, or more than a dozen people. It was thousands of geniuses. Among them, there were more than 100 small giants. When the forces behind these people joined forces, they could even shake the entire Huangtian mystic realm. It's too hateful. My son died so easily. The son of God of the Jun family is too ruthless. The ruler of the Jin dynasty roared angrily. It was the emperor of the Tianyao Jin dynasty. The successor of the battle demon cave has also died. The son of God of the Jun family is too overbearing. That's right. The talents of the Tianfang ancient star zone have also died. This hatred must be avenged. Previously, the Jun family also destroyed the ancient Sea King star zone and killed the Sword Master of the Void. They don't take us seriously at all. Many forces of the ancient star zones around the Huangtian mystic realm expressed their anger. Although the Emperor's court had destroyed the ancient Sea King star zone before, many forces were shocked. But now, it wasn't just 1 or 2 forces who were dissatisfied. It was a large group of forces of the ancient star zones who were dissatisfied. However, before these forces of the ancient star zones could unite, there was movement in the Huangtian mystic realm. More than 10 imperial weapons rose into the sky. The Emperor's Mirror, the Earth Emperor's Book, the Emperor's Brush, and the other 3 imperial weapons. There were also the Pan Huang Sword, the Kylan Wheel, the Phoenix Wing Golden Centipede, the 6 Paths of Reincarnation Disc, the Neptune's Trident, and other imperial weapons. Waves of majestic imperial might swept across the Huangtian mystic realm and pressed towards the surrounding ancient star zones. On the Emperor's road, life and death do not matter. Your descendants are all trash. It is already an honor for you to be killed by the Son of God. How dare you be dissatisfied? In the Jun family, an old man stepped forward and stood in the sky. Chaotic chi wrapped around his body, and his might shook the surroundings. His domineering voice? It spread through the void of the universe. It was none other than Jun Tianming, one of the 8 ancestors of the Jun family, who possessed the cultivation of the chaotic Tao Master. Jun Tianming didn't fall into a deep sleep after the Battle of the Immortals ended. Instead, he stayed in the Jun residence to prevent any further disturbances. Now, the ancient star domains were in chaos, ready to make a move. Jun Tianming stepped forward. Chaos Tao Master's cultivation? This was enough to intimidate everyone. What's more, there were more than 10 imperial weapons. It was so bright that it blinded everyone's eyes. In the Huangtian mystic realm, many forces were shocked. In the other direction, the Jiang family? Another figure appeared. It was you who besieged the goddess of the Jiang family first, but you were killed by my grandson in the end. How dare you bark now? A supreme great ancestor of the Jiang family stepped into the sky. Was he Jun Xiaoyao's grandfather? Jiang Daoxiu, the supreme great ancestor of the Jiang family. Why waste your breath? If anyone is dissatisfied, just kill them. A bronze temple filled with an ancient aura appeared in the sky above the Huangtian mystic realm. The supreme elder of the monarch imperial court, an old blind man, and the others appeared with indifference. They hadn't had enough fun destroying the ancient star domain of the Sea King. For a moment, the entire Huangtian mystic realm trembled. The Jun family, the Jiang family, and the monarch imperial court, the three immortal forces, spoke at the same time. Coupled with the pressure of a dozen imperial weapons, the deterrence was unimaginable. One had to know that the Jiang family didn't even interfere in the previous battle of the immortals. But now, even the Jiang family couldn't sit still. As one of the three imperial families, the Jiang family's foundation was among the top among the immortal forces. It wasn't much weaker than the Jun family. For a moment, some of the voices in the ancient star domain quieted down. There were even some strong cultivators who were trembling. Damn it, a dozen imperial weapons were used at once. This was simply unethical. Besides, there was also Dao Master Hundun. It was almost impossible for such a strong cultivator to appear in some of the ancient star domains. Therefore, the forces in the ancient star domain were terrified. Jun Tianming, the eighth patriarch, stood on the Milky Way with his hands behind his back and yelled, "Who else?" His voice was so loud that it shattered many stars in the starry sky. None of the forces responded. Even the emperor of the Jin dynasty and the cultivators of the Battle Demon Cave, who were furious before, were completely silent. "Humph, a bunch of cowards," Jun Tianming snorted and left in a huff. "Tisk tsk, what a pity. It would have been better if they had fought." The parrot shook its head in disappointment. A possible riot was quelled just like that. This also showed the forces in the Huangtian mystic realm how powerful the Jun family was. I don't think anyone would object to the Jun family being the most powerful force in the Huangtian mystic realm, right? Some people were discussing. I've heard that when the Jun family was at its peak, they seemed to want to replace the Supreme Xian Ting and control the Order of the Nine Heavens mystic realm. Replacing the Supreme Xian Ting? Isn't that a bit too much? The Jun family is indeed powerful, but I heard that the Supreme Xian Ting is related to the will of the mystic realm. Many old antiques talked about this secret. In other words, the Supreme Xian Ting was equivalent to the official force. It was not easy for the Jun family to replace it. However, according to some ancient records, the Jun family seemed to be close to success a long time ago, but they failed for some reason in the end. Some old antiques and living fossils sighed when they talked about this secret history. If there was a force that could become the leader of the Nine Heavens mystic realm, the Jun family was definitely the most likely one. Of course, there were other powerful ancient forces, such as the Dragon King Palace, the Gulan sect, and the lineage of the Underworld King. They would not sit back and watch the Jun family dominate the Nine Heavens mystic realm. Since the collapse of the Supreme Xian Ting, many ancient forces wanted to take control of the Nine Heavens mystic realm. Let's not talk about this for now. I heard that there might be a successor of the Supreme Xian Ting's taboo on the ancient road of ultimate. Tisk tsk, it would be interesting if the successor of the Supreme Xian Ting's taboo met the Son of God of the Jun family. That's right. Doesn't this mean that the Jun family and the Supreme Xian Ting are fighting for luck? Some old antiques talked among themselves. They felt that the most intense clash would not be on the Emperor Road, but on the ancient Road of Ultimate. The ancient Road of Ultimate must be much more exciting than the Emperor Road. The waves in the Huangtian mystic realm calmed down. Even Supreme Du Tuo was shocked when he heard the news. He then shook his head with a wry smile. It seemed that he had been worrying too much. It would be a piece of cake for the Jun family and other forces to suppress these small waves. Inside the Huangtian battlefield, after all the geniuses who had participated in the encirclement were killed, the entire battlefield calmed down a little. Jun Xiaoyao also removed the third anti-immortal seal. However, the remaining geniuses did not leave. That was because the battle was not over yet. There was one last thing that everyone was curious about. It was the battle between Yi Guqin and Jun Xiaoyao on the Emperor Road. Chapter 584. There were 9 Emperor Roads in the 9 heavens, celestial realm. Each Emperor Road would produce an Emperor Road King, who represented the highest combat strength of the Emperor Road. To a certain extent, they also represented the fortune of the celestial realm. Whoever could become the Emperor Road King would be blessed by the fortune of the Huangtian celestial realm. This kind of blessing seemed illusory, but it was real. The Emperor Road of the Huangtian celestial realm had reached this point. There were only 2 people who had the highest chance of becoming the Emperor Road King. Yi Guqin, who ranked first on the Huangtian Saint ranking, and Jun Xiaoyao, the son of God of the Jun family. The battle between Yi Guqin and Jun Xiaoyao had spread throughout the entire Emperor Road. Therefore, the remaining geniuses did not leave the Huangtian battlefield. They were all looking forward to the battle between Yi Guqin and Jun Xiaoyao. They also wanted to know who would become the Emperor Road King in the end. Why do I feel that the son of God of the Jun family has a higher chance of winning? That move of his was so destructive. I think so too, but Yi Guqin is not bad either. He cut off the past and reconstructed his true self. Not everyone has such courage and perseverance. That's right. Yi Guqin also hid his strength well. When he fought, he almost always killed his opponents with a single move. This is getting interesting. Many geniuses in the Huangtian battlefield were discussing. They were paying close attention to the movements of Yi Guqin and Jun Xiaoyao. On Jun Xiaoyao's side, he temporarily placed Jiang Shengyi in a cave full of spiritual qi. At this rate of recovery, Jiang Shengyi should be able to wake up in a few days. The remaining sequences of the Jun family, the geniuses of the Jiang family, and their followers gathered together. Jun Xiaoyao was also very simple. He told everyone some things that happened before he stepped onto the Emperor Road. He also told them about the details of the Battle of the Immortals. After hearing this, everyone sighed with emotion. He did not expect such a big thing to happen in the Huangtian mystic realm after they set foot on the Imperial Road. After that, Yu said, "Young master, since Yi Guqin wants to fight with you, why didn't he come directly to you?" Hearing this, everyone pricked up their ears to listen. After all, the thing that everyone was most concerned about was the battle between the 2 strongest individuals. Jun Xiaoyao thought for a moment and said, "That's because he's waiting for me to find him." This answer left the crowd somewhat puzzled. Jun Xiaoyao continued, "He wants me to have time to adjust my state and mood, and then face him in the most perfect state. So that's how it is." Everyone was enlightened. This Yi Guqin was a man of martial ethics. Jun Xiaoyao, on the other hand, did not mind. He didn't need to adjust his state at all. He could fight under any circumstances. But Yi Guqin's attitude? Jun Xiaoyao, on the other hand, was rather impressed. Such an opponent? Only then was he qualified to make him take him seriously. For someone like Long Shuhuang, Jun Xiaoyao felt that it was a waste of breath to say another word. In the following time, Jun Xiaoyao was not in a hurry to find Yi Guqin to fight. Instead, he stayed by Jiang Shengyi's side. Jun Xiaoyao himself was not sure how he felt about Jiang Shengyi. Guilt? Pity? Perhaps they were all alike. The road ahead was long. Jun Xiaoyao's goal was very big. He still had to walk to the end of the ancient road of ultimate to find the heavenly book and the hidden branch of the Jun family. He still had to find his father. Go to the foreign realm? Go to the burial realm? Go to the realm sea. Before that, he would not stop for anyone. But Jiang Shengyi was indeed a person who made one's heart ache. Looking at Jiang Shengyi's quiet and beautiful face when she was sleeping, Jun Xiaoyao was silent. A few days later, Jiang Shengyi's curled eyelashes trembled slightly. Then, her limpid eyes slowly opened. As soon as she opened her eyes, she saw the person she thought about day and night. Jiang Xingyi's lips curled into a weak smile. Although her body was more or less fine, she still needed to recuperate for a period of time to completely recover. Xiaoyao, I had a dream, a very, very long dream. In the dream, we traveled all over the immortal realm. We went to see the mountains, the sea, the galaxy, and the mortal world. Jiang Xingyi's smile was as beautiful as 100 flowers blooming. Sister Xingyi, Jun Xiaoyao wanted to say something. However, Jiang Xingyi gently raised her jade-like arm and tapped Jun Xiaoyao's lips with her jade finger. There's no need to say anything. I'm willing to do everything. I don't need you to do anything for me, Xiaoyao, Jiang Xingyi said. She would not ask Jun Xiaoyao to do anything to her. She knew that Jun Xiaoyao's journey was the sea of stars. She could not drag Jun Xiaoyao down. She was even willing to be Jun Xiaoyao's right-hand man and help him silently without asking for anything in return. Seeing such a considerate Jiang Xingyi, even Jun Xiaoyao was slightly touched. He said, Sister Xingyi, when I return from the ancient road, I will give you a promise. Hearing this, Jiang Xingyi's delicate body trembled, and tears flashed in her eyes. Would it be the promise she was looking forward to? After that, seeing that Jiang Xingyi had woken up, Jiang Luoli and the others also came to visit. Sister Xingyi, I'm so glad you're okay. Jiang Luoli threw herself into Jiang Xingyi's arms. Luoli. Jiang Xingyi stroked Jiang Luoli's little head. At this moment, the barrier between them seemed to have dissolved. It's all my fault for not being able to save Sister Xingyi. Jiang Luoli blamed herself. She felt that she was really a useless little girl. It's not your fault, Jiang Xingyi said with a smile. Fortunately, the ending is perfect. Nothing happened. If Xiaoyao could defeat Yi Guchen, it would be even more perfect, Lord Grimm said with a smile. With cousin Xiaoyao's cultivation, it shouldn't be a problem, Jun Lingsong also said with a smile. He was very confident in Jun Xiaoyao. Xiaoyao, are you going to fight with the reincarnation of the sword demon? Jiang Xingyi was very concerned. It's okay. Jun Xiaoyao didn't take it seriously. He did see Yi Guchen as a real opponent, but it didn't mean that Yi Guchen could threaten him. By the way, why do I feel that my body is better than before? Jiang Xingyi was very confused. Although she was weak now, she could feel that her body had undergone a qualitative change. It was much better than before. That's because Xiao Yao refined the holy physique's blood essence from his heart into your body, Lord Grimm said. Xiao Yao, why are you so reckless? Is there anything wrong with you? Jiang Xingyi's complexion changed. Her jade-like hands stroked Jun Xiaoyao's chest, carefully inspecting it. She was afraid that because of her own problems, something would happen to Jun Xiaoyao's body. If that happened, she would regret it for the rest of her life. Cough cough, you guys take your time talking. I'll be leaving first. Lord Grimm dryly coughed. I'll also be leaving. Jun Lingsong smiled. Let's go, let's go. Nine-headed lion joined in on the fun, a cheap smile on his face. I really don't want to eat dog food anymore. Xiao Maxian also cried out as she left. Only Jiang Luoli's big eyes had a hint of gloominess. She squeezed out a smile and said, Then Luoli will also be leaving. Just as she was about to leave, Jiang Xingyi grabbed her wrist and said, Luoli, you haven't seen Xiaoyao in a long time. Stay and talk. Jiang Luoli bit her lips and nodded. It was impossible for her to say that she didn't miss Jun Xiaoyao. It was just that she felt that it was a bit inappropriate. Jiang Luoli looked at Jun Xiaoyao with hidden bitterness, her heart a bit low. Looking at the two beauties in front of him, one big and one small, Jun Xiaoyao had a strange feeling in his heart. He clearly hadn't done anything, so why did he feel like he was a bit of a scum? Chapter 585. The next few days were warm and uneventful. Ever since Jun Xiaoyao stepped onto the path of Imperial God, he had been pushing his way through the battlefield without stopping for even a moment. Although Jun Xiaoyao was used to this kind of life, he still felt a little tired. Jun Xiaoyao spent the past few days in a relaxed manner. He had nothing to do, so he chatted with Jiang Shengyi and Jiang Luoli. Otherwise, he would spar with Lord Grimm, Jun Lingsang, and the others, or give pointers to the other sequences of the Jun family. Although Jun Xiaoyao was of the younger generation, he had a monstrous comprehension ability. His understanding of cultivation was even deeper than some of the older generations. Therefore, some of the geniuses of the Jun family and the Jiang family were enlightened under Jun Xiaoyao's guidance, and their cultivation improved by leaps and bounds. Later on, many of the geniuses who stayed in the barren heaven battlefield came because of Jun Xiaoyao's reputation. They wanted to get some pointers from him. Jun Xiaoyao was not stingy. He started to preach, attracting many geniuses from all over. To him, these preachings were just a drop in the ocean. Jun Xiaoyao's casual enlightenment was enough for the other geniuses to study for a long time. When Jun Xiaoyao preached, flowers fell from the sky and golden lotuses bloomed on the ground. Lines of the great path intertwined in the void and divine light surged. It was as if he was explaining the ultimate truth of the world. For a time, Jun Xiaoyao's reputation among the geniuses of the Emperor Road skyrocketed. Those geniuses who said Jun Xiaoyao's methods were too extreme were now sitting under Jun Xiaoyao's seat devoutly. They listened to his guidance quietly with a satisfied look on their faces. Even Supreme Du Tuo came to listen to Jun Xiaoyao's preaching. This caused a large group of prodigies to be taken aback. Who would have thought that even a supreme would come to listen to Jun Xiaoyao's preaching? After listening, Supreme Du Tuo could not help but sigh. The student had surpassed the master. Even though he was a 9 heavens supreme, he still benefited a lot from it. At the same time, Du Tuo was also impressed by Jun Xiaoyao's methods. A simple favor from Jun Xiaoyao was all it took to erase the fact that he had mercilessly slaughtered thousands of geniuses in one stroke. Now, no one said that Jun Xiaoyao was a homicidal maniac anymore. They all regarded Jun Xiaoyao as their teacher. He thanked her profusely and respected her greatly. In the following period of time, Jun Xiaoyao was free to preach the Tao. If he had nothing to do, he would watch the two Lolas, Jiang Luoli and Xiao Maxian, bicker. Xiao Xian on the other hand, was out of Jun Xiaoyao's expectations. She actually knew how to cozy up to him. Sister Sheng-yi? You're so beautiful. Sister Sheng-yi? Back then, Xiao Xian also bled to save you. Sister Sheng-yi? I feel like Big Brother Xiaoyao wants to eat me. Looking at her head full of silvery hair, sparkling and tender as snow, Xiao Xian was like a porcelain doll. Jiang Shengyi's motherly love overflowed. There was no need to mention how much she liked her. Xiaoyao, you cannot refine Xiao Xian, Jiang Shengyi said. Jun Xiaoyao was left speechless. He had indeed planned to fatten Xiao Xian up and then refine her. But this girl had also turned into a thief? She even knew how to form alliances and win over allies. Don't worry. Xiao Xian can also be considered Big Sister Sheng Yi's savior. I naturally won't do that. Jun Xiaoyao smiled at Xiao Xian, but Xiao Xian felt a chill run down her spine. She thought that Jun Xiaoyao was not giving up on his evil intentions. And on the other side, the 9-headed lion cast a sidelong glance at them and whispered, "Why do I feel like they're a family of 3? Shoo? You saw through me but didn't say anything? It seems that I can only think of a way to become Big Brother Xiaoyao's concubine in the future." Xiao Maxian mumbled. "What nonsense are you spouting, shameless woman?" Jiang Luoli glared at her. No matter how shameless I am, I'm still better than a certain loser, right?" Xiao Maxian said sarcastically. The so-called loser was naturally referring to Jiang Luoli. "Ah, stinking woman, who are you calling a loser? I want to fight you." Jiang Luoli's hair stood on end, like a cat whose tail had been stepped on. She, lowly Jiang, would never admit that she was a loser. Time slowly passed. Jun Xiaoyao enjoyed a rare moment of peace. None of the geniuses had left the desolate heaven battlefield. They were all looking forward to the final battle. Xiaoyao, the reincarnation of the sword demon, cannot be underestimated. He has hidden his strength very deeply. It can be said that he has never used his full strength on the Emperor's road. Lord Grimm warned. Lord Grimm was also very strong. If he wanted to compete for the Emperor's road, he could definitely compete with Yi Guqin. However, even Lord Grimm did not have full confidence that he could defeat Yi Guqin. This sword demon, who had severed his past and reconstructed his true self, had hidden his strength very deeply. He was extremely terrifying. Jiang Xingyi stepped forward and said, "That's right, Xiaoyao, you have not refined the divine fetus. If you do, your chances of winning will be greater." Looking at Jiang Xingyi, who had yet to recover her vitality and was still a little pale, Jun Xiaoyao shook his head and said, "Sister Xingyi, your innate Tao fetus is the most compatible with the divine fetus. If you refine it, you will make great progress. If I refine it, it will only be icing on the cake." Jun Xiaoyao's words were the truth. Although the divine fetus was also very useful to him, it was obviously more useful to Jiang Xingyi. "No, Xiaoyao, this is a gift from me. You can't reject it." Jiang Xingyi put on a serious face and said seriously, "Ahem, can you guys consider my feelings?" Lord Grimm coughed dryly and said, "As a single dog, he had been shown off in front of everyone. Master, you have the sacred body of the ancients, and the goddess of the Jiang family has the innate Tao fetus. Why can't you two cultivate together?" The nine-headed lion suddenly said. At that moment, everyone's eyes suddenly turned to the nine-headed lion. "What's wrong?" The nine-headed lion's 9 faces were all stunned. "You're quite a clever little brat," Xiao Maxian muttered. Even Jun Xiaoyao was slightly stunned. He had not thought of this. Logically speaking, he had the sacred body of the ancients, and Jiang Xingyi had the innate Tao fetus. If they cultivated together, it would indeed have an amplifying effect. Moreover, they had the divine fetus as support. If the two of them cultivated the great path together, the effect would definitely be off the charts. But wasn't this the same as cultivating together? Jiang Xingyi had obviously thought of this as well. Her beautiful face instantly blushed a soul-stirring crimson. "This is not a bad idea." Jun Lingsong and the others nodded in agreement. Naturally, they also hoped that Jun Xiaoyao could defeat Yi Guqin and win the title of King of the Emperor Road. However, Jiang Luoli, Yan Qinying, Princess Longji, Xiao Maxian, and the other girls felt a little jealous. However, they also hoped that Jun Xiaoyao could become stronger, so they did not object. "Sister Xingyi, this..." Jun Xiaoyao was just about to say that this was a little inappropriate. Jiang Xingyi lowered her head slightly and whispered, "Xiaoyao, I can do it." The beauty lowered her head and smiled shyly. She was very charming. Okay. Jun Xiaoyao was not a procrastinator. Since Jiang Xingyi had agreed, why should he, as a man, have any scruples? Then, everyone left to avoid arousing suspicion. Jun Xiaoyao and Jiang Xingyi found a cave with abundant spiritual energy and prepared to refine the divine fetus. Cultivating together with Jiang Xingyi gave Jun Xiaoyao a strange feeling. He remembered a story from his previous life. A certain genius surnamed Yang cultivated the Jade Girl Heart Sutra with his aunt. Chapter 586. Of course, Jun Xiaoyao had no other intentions. He simply wanted to use the divine fetus to improve his cultivation with Jiang Xingyi. "Sister Xingyi, it's time to start," Jun Xiaoyao said. "Okay." Jiang Xingyi's expression also became more solemn. However, there was still a trace of redness on her beautiful face that was as bright as the sunset glow. Jun Xiaoyao took out the divine fetus. The entire divine fetus was enshrouded in divine qi and shone brightly. There were mysterious Tao patterns intertwining and the aura of the great path flowing. It made people feel as if they were about to have an epiphany and understand the truth of the world. So this is the power of immortals. Jun Xiaoyao's eyes were burning with passion. There was no admiration, or yearning in his eyes. Because to him, becoming an immortal was a goal he would definitely achieve. So there was nothing to be envious of. What he needed to do was to take one step at a time toward this goal. When the divine fetus appeared, the innate Taoist fetus in Jiang Xingyi's body seemed to resonate and began to release Tao patterns and tremble. The innate Taoist fetus was the favored child of heaven and earth. A divine object like the divine fetus was the most suitable for Jiang Xingyi to refine. Sister Xingyi, you don't have to suppress the power of your innate Taoist fetus, Jun Xiaoyao said. Jiang Xingyi nodded and completely released the power of her innate Taoist fetus. In an instant, Jiang Xingyi's entire body shone with divine light, like a fairy who was about to ascend. What was even more bizarre was that Jun Xiaoyao's body began to emanate boundless divine light as well. The sacred body of the ancients and the innate Taoist fetus were physiques that could attract and resonate with each other. The innate Taoist fetus of the innate Taoist fetus of the two was a super physique that could be ranked in the top 5 among the 3,000 physiques. Since ancient times there had only been a handful of them. Jun Xiaoyao did not have any scruples and activated the power of his sacred body of the ancients. The power of the sacred body of the ancients merged with the power of the innate Taoist fetus. The feeling was indescribable. It was as if he had reached some kind of climax. Jun Xiaoyao was still fine. His expression was calm as he focused on refining the divine fetus. On the other hand, Jiang Xingyi's face was as red as snow. She bit her lips and tried her best not to make any strange sounds. After all, in some aspects, it was usually the girls who screamed happily, while the boys hardly said anything. The power of the two merged together, and the power of the primordial spirit was released as well, mixing in the void. The divine fetus unleashed a tremendous amount of energy in an instant. Immortal light surged like a tide. The energy swept out, and in an instant, Jun Xiaoyao and Jiang Xingyi's clothes melted away like snow in spring. In the next moment they were honest with each other. Jun Xiaoyao's body was perfect and flawless, as if he was the most perfect piece of art carved by the heavens. Every inch of his body was glowing with immortal light. Jiang Xingyi's skin and bones were also as white and translucent as snow. She was like a beauty carved from jade. Her previous injuries had long since disappeared without a trace. Her jade-like body was as white and delicate as ivory, without a single flaw. Ah! Jiang Xingyi couldn't help but let out a low cry. She closed her beautiful eyes, her eyelashes trembling slightly, and her face flushed red. This was the first time she revealed her body in front of the opposite sex. Previously, she had mistakenly consumed the tea that Jiang Luoli had drugged, and she had done something ridiculous with Jun Xiaoyao. But she had only done that, and hadn't done anything excessive. But now they were honest with each other. Jiang Xingyi's beautiful eyes were tightly shut, and her heart was pounding wildly. Even someone as mature and intelligent as her couldn't help but feel a little flustered when faced with such a situation. At this moment, Jiang Xingyi was exceptionally beautiful, like a fairy from Moon Palace. Such a pure and holy fairy was now honest with each other. The temptation was indescribable. Jun Xiaoyao wasn't a saint. He glanced at her and sighed slightly. She looked thin with clothes on, but muscular without them. Sister Xingyi, focus. Refining the divine fetus is the most important thing, Jun Xiaoyao said. Art was worth admiring, but the most important thing right now was to refine the divine fetus. Jiang Xingyi also opened her beautiful eyes, trembling. It was too big. Jiang Xingyi's heart was beating even faster. Jun Xiaoyao's certain parts made women feel pressured. However, Jiang Xingyi was also a proud daughter of the heavens. Her mind was very stable, and she quickly calmed down. This was nothing. She could accept it if she gritted her teeth and persevered. Jiang Xingyi encouraged herself in her heart. She would work hard to become Jun Xiaoyao's shape. Jun Xiaoyao naturally didn't know what Jiang Xingyi was thinking. At this moment, He and Jiang Shengyi each activated the power of the sacred body of the ancients and the innate fetus of the way. The two merged and began to refine the divine fetus. The vast energy of the divine fetus began to be refined and absorbed by them. A dazzling cocoon of energy enveloped the two of them. Vaguely, not only did the two of them merge their powers, but even the power of their primordial spirits began to merge. The power of the innate fetus of the way began to spread in Jun Xiaoyao's body. The power of the sacred body of the ancients also spread in Jiang Shengyi's body. The two bodies overlapped, causing the energy of the divine fetus to be released several times more. Lines of the Great Path began to vibrate on the surface of Jun Xiaoyao's body. The embryonic form of divine qi spread. It was pale blue like the heavens. In Jun Xiaoyao's chest, the supreme bone was shining, and the power of the heavens was circulating. With the support of the divine fetus, the pale blue embryonic form of divine qi quickly condensed into a real divine qi. The heavens' divine qi. This divine qi was the manifestation of the first abhijna of Jun Xiaoyao's supreme bone, the power of the heavens. As a result, Jun Xiaoyao's three supreme bone abhijnas all had corresponding divine qi. The heavens' divine qi, the reincarnation divine qi, and the sin divine qi. At the same time, another divine qi appeared on the surface of Jiang Shengyi's body. It was a Tao that she had comprehended. However, the cultivation was far from over. The power of the divine fetus was not limited to this. The embryonic form of divine qi began to condense on the surface of Jun Xiaoyao's body again. It was a pitch-black divine qi. It was like a black hole abyss, and it emitted a heart-palpitating devouring power. It was the manifestation of Jun Xiaoyao's god-devouring demonic technique. Devouring divine qi. At the same time, Jiang Shengyi also condensed another divine qi. It could be said that no other genius could condense divine qi as fast as Jun Xiaoyao and Jiang Shengyi. After that, time continued to pass. On the surface of Jun Xiaoyao's body, another divine qi appeared. This divine qi was like the intertwining of the Great Path's rules, and it carried the true meaning of the Great Path. This divine qi is, Jun Xiaoyao was very surprised. This was not a Tao that Jun Xiaoyao had comprehended himself. He did not have this kind of energy in his body. Its sister Shengyi's Great Path divine qi. Jun Xiaoyao was surprised and said to himself, this divine qi was the divine qi condensed by Jiang Shengyi's innate power of the Taoist fetus. At the same time, a divine qi also condensed on the surface of Jiang Shengyi's body. The divine qi was golden and mixed with a trace of blood qi. It was the divine qi condensed by Jun Xiaoyao's sacred body of the ancients when he cultivated the physique book. Chapter 587. The situation before them was very strange. Jun Xiaoyao had condensed Jiang Shengyi's Great Path divine qi. Jiang Shengyi, on the other hand, had condensed Jun Xiaoyao's divine aura. Of the two divine qi, one was condensed from the innate embryo of Taoism, and the other was condensed from the sacred body of the ancients and the physique book. This dual cultivation allowed Jun Xiaoyao and Jiang Shengyi to each condense a divine qi that belonged to the other. It could be said that such a scene had never happened before. Interesting. Is this the resonance between the sacred body of the ancients and the innate embryo of Taoism? Jun Xiaoyao felt that this change was very interesting. Jiang Shengyi also felt that it was very strange. He didn't expect the two constitutions to have such a connection. Perhaps Xiaoyao and I are destined to be together. When Jiang Shengyi thought of this, he felt a sweet feeling that was both shy and happy. After that, the two of them didn't condense any more divine qi. After all, Jun Xiaoyao and Jiang Shengyi had each condensed 3 divine qi in a short period of time. In total, they had 6 divine qi, which was an extremely shocking amount. However, the divine fetus still had a huge amount of energy left. Jun Xiaoyao and Jiang Shengyi each absorbed half of this energy. The energy would sink into their bodies and play an important role in the next condensing of divine qi. If they wanted to break through to the next level, the energy of the divine fetus would also play an amazing role. Jun Xiaoyao and Jiang Xingyi were each comprehending and consolidating their gains in cultivation. In the blink of an eye, half a month had passed. The atmosphere of the entire barren heaven battlefield became slightly restless. Many geniuses were very confused as to why Jun Xiaoyao hadn't shown up for the appointment. Yi Guchen was able to keep his composure, and he didn't urge them in the slightest. He just sat cross-legged on the heavenly Tao arena by himself as he waited for the final battle of destiny. After more than half a month of consolidation, the energy cocoon that enveloped Jun Xiaoyao and Jiang Xingyi finally cracked open. Two figures with perfect figures were revealed. The harvest this time is too great. Jun Xiaoyao exhaled deeply, a trace of excitement on his face. Including the immortal qi that he had just cultivated, he now had 8 wisps of immortal qi. What kind of concept was that? It could be said that even on the ultimate ancient road, 8 strands of immortal qi was a taboo that no one dared to provoke. Even among the outlawed sky prides? To be able to cultivate 8 strands of immortal qi was also one of a kind. What was even more terrifying was that this was not Jun Xiaoyao's limit. He could cultivate even more immortal qi. As for the realm? However, he didn't make a breakthrough. It was fine if Jun Xiaoyao didn't break through, but once he did, it would definitely be a blowout. Was that why he didn't use the power of the divine fetus to break through this time, and instead, accumulated it in his body? He would leave it for another day to break through the realm in one go. On the other hand, Jiang Xingyi's beautiful face was also filled with joy. She had also cultivated 6 strands of immortal qi, even if she wasn't as good as Jun Xiaoyao, but it was enough for her to stand out from the crowd. What made Jiang Xingyi even happier was that Jun Xiaoyao's aura had become stronger again. This made her happier than her own breakthrough. Xiaoyao? How do you feel? Jiang Xingyi walked gracefully toward Jun Xiaoyao. Not bad. If only I knew it would be so efficient. I should have dual cultivated with Sister Xingyi earlier, Jun Xiaoyao said honestly. Jiang Xingyi's snow-white face turned red when she heard this. That was too direct. Jun Xiaoyao sized up Jiang Xingyi and said, Sister Xingyi? Are you testing my determination? Sensing Jun Xiaoyao's gaze, Jiang Xingyi finally realized that she was still completely naked. Her snow-white skin was like jade, glowing. She blushed and hurriedly took out a snow-white robe to change. To be honest, even Jun Xiaoyao didn't expect this. Jiang Xingyi, who was as slender as a willow in her snow-white robe, was actually so well endowed inside. Sister Xingyi really hides her abilities well. Jun Xiaoyao smiled faintly, and unhurriedly changed into his white robe. Jiang Xingyi's face was slightly red, and she charmingly rolled her eyes at Jun Xiaoyao. How could she not know that Jun Xiaoyao was teasing her figure? This could be considered as sexual harassment, alright? However, Jiang Xingyi didn't feel the slightest bit repulsed. Instead, she blushed and her heart raced because of Jun Xiaoyao's gaze. Jiang Xingyi's cheeks were still red. She pretended to be indifferent, but her gaze quietly fell on Jun Xiaoyao, who was putting on his robe. It's still too big. Jiang Xingyi muttered to herself as she blushed and her heart raced. After some tidying up, the awkward atmosphere finally disappeared. Jun Xiaoyao then said seriously, Sister Xingyi, you have my physical immortal qi, and I have your immortal qi of the Great Path. Do you feel the mystery? Jiang Xingyi's expression also returned to normal. She said, I feel it. If I activate my physical immortal qi, I vaguely feel like I have an innate sacred body. Yes, I feel the same. Jun Xiaoyao nodded. To put it simply, if Jun Xiaoyao added the immortal qi of the Great Path to his sacred body of the ancient, he could simulate the innate sacred body of Tao for a short period of time and manifest part of the power of the innate sacred body of Tao. On the other hand, it was the same for Jiang Xingyi. Don't underestimate this little change. The innate sacred body of Tao was definitely one of the most monstrous physiques in the world. Even if it could only simulate a small part of the power for a short period of time, it was enough to be used as a trump card to catch the enemy off guard. Jun Xiaoyao was very satisfied with this harvest. Of course, he wouldn't forget that it was Jiang Xingyi who risked her life to bring it to him. Sister Xingyi, thank you very much, Jun Xiaoyao said sincerely. He stepped forward and put his arm around Jiang Xingyi's shoulder. Jiang Xingyi's heart was so sweet that it almost melted. Xiaoyao. Jiang Xingyi suddenly called out. Jun Xiaoyao had just responded. A picturesque face was reflected in front of him. Her eyebrows were curved, her eyes were like autumn water, her lips were bright red, and her teeth were sparkling. She kissed Jun Xiaoyao lightly on the lips. It was a quick touch. The mature and gentle Jiang Xingyi was like a little girl who had fallen in love for the first time. Her heart was palpitating and beating non-stop. Jun Xiaoyao didn't feel anything. He was an old hand in his previous life. Let's go, Jun Xiaoyao said. The King of Kings' Battle of Emperor Road was still waiting for him. Jun Xiaoyao couldn't be trapped in this gentle village. Outside the cave, many people were waiting. Jun Xiaoyao and Jiang Xingyi walked out at the same time. They looked at Jiang Xingyi, whose snow-white face was as bright as the sunset, and whose starry eyes were moist with shyness. Everyone present was stunned. Then, they smiled bitterly and shook their heads. The main purpose of dual cultivation was not to cultivate. Those who understood it would understand it. Those who didn't would understand it when they grew up. Why are you looking at me like that? Jun Xiaoyao asked. Haha, congratulations. It seems that the world will soon have an innate saint body of Taoist embryo that will shock the world, Lord Grimm said. It seems that I will have a little master soon. The nine-headed lion was also cheering. Jun Xiaoyao was speechless. For the first time, he realized that the people around him were so gossipy. Jiang Luoli was even teary-eyed. She pouted and looked like she had been wronged. In the end, Jun Xiaoyao had to explain to clear up the misunderstanding. All right, Yi Guqin must have been waiting for a long time. The Emperor Road of the Huangtian mystic realm should come to an end, Jun Xiaoyao said seriously. Yi Guqin was definitely a very strong opponent. Xiaoyao, you must be careful. Don't be careless, Jiang Xingyi said as she stepped forward and tidied Jun Xiaoyao's clothes. Don't worry. He is an interesting opponent, but the only person who can defeat me is myself. Chapter 588. In the deepest part of the barren heaven battlefield, there was a heavenly law arena. Rumor had it that it was a battleground for ancient geniuses to fight for the seal of proving doctrine. Although the heavenly law arena was called an arena, it looked like a giant island floating in the void. All kinds of sealing runes were imprinted in the void, preventing the shock waves of the battle from spreading. At this moment, the surroundings of the heavenly law arena were crowded with many Emperor Road geniuses who were looking forward to it. They were all waiting for the final battle of the Emperor Road. On one side was the first on the Barren Heaven Saint leaderboard, the reincarnation of the Yi family's sword demon, who had never been defeated since he entered the Emperor Road. On the other side was the son of God of the Jun family, who was known as the Invincible Sage. His strength was unprecedented, and he was known as an outlawed Sky Pride. His terrifying battle record of killing thousands of Sky Prides with a single move in the barren heaven battlefield was still passed down in the Emperor Road, becoming a legend. It could be said that the battle between these two represented the pinnacle of the younger generation in the barren heaven mystic realm. If one could watch a battle of this level, it would be a great opportunity to gain enlightenment. Therefore, none of the prodigies would miss out on this battle. Even Supreme Du Tua had come here long ago and was prepared. At this moment, in the heavenly law arena, 5 dazzling jade seals that exuded the heavenly law's aura rotated in the air. They were the 5 seals of proving doctrine. On the other side, Yi Guqin was sitting cross-legged in the void, with a blood-stained Emperor Slayer on his knees. He was waiting for his fated battle. We must win this battle. Among the crowd, a young man with a sword on his back clenched his fist. He was the Yi family's ancient freak, Yi Nantian. However, even as an ancient freak, Yi Nantian's status was much lower than Yi Guchen's. The Yi family's luck was all on Yi Guchen's shoulders. To a certain extent, this was a battle of luck between the Yi family and the Jun family. At some point, Yi Guchen seemed to have sensed something. He slowly stood up. The Emperor's Slayer made a sonorous sound and floated beside him, like a loyal comrade. Is it finally here? Yi Guchen muttered. A strand of sword intent that shot into the sky surged out from within his body. The stars trembled. Heaven and earth shook. He also unleashed his cultivation at the Sage Realm Great Perfection without holding back. This was the first time Yi Guchen had fully revealed his cultivation in front of everyone. He is indeed at the great circle of the Sage stage. The eyes of some sky prides flickered. Generally speaking, some reincarnated ancient powerhouses had a great advantage in terms of cultivation realm. For example, some quasi-emperors or even great emperors reincarnated very early on. Then, he would be able to cultivate to an extremely high level. Although Yi Guchen had severed his past and reconstructed his true self, what about his potential and talent? He was still alive. It wasn't surprising that he had cultivated to the Saint Realm's perfection. As for Jun Xiaoyao, how could he cultivate to the Saint stage perfection at such a young age? This was the one and only anomaly throughout the ages. Just as Yi Guchen released his fighting spirit, there was a vast divine light surging in the distant sky. A white-robed figure arrived like a divine king. Every step, it caused the stars in the sky to tremble. A terrifying magical power ripple that wasn't weaker than Yi Guchen's? When it spread out, the surrounding sky prides felt as if they were facing a god. Jun Xiaoyao had arrived. Looking at the soaring fighting spirit? Yi Guchen's shocking sword intent. Jun Xiaoyao's bright divine eyes? There was also a hint of surprise. Yi Guchen was stronger than he thought? He was stronger. But this? Only then would it be interesting. If it was the same as before, Jun Xiaoyao wouldn't be interested in going to this appointment. He hoped that someone could challenge him. Behind Jun Xiaoyao? Jiang Xingyi? Jiang Luoli? Xiao Maxian? Nine-Headed Lion, Lord Grim, Jun Lingtsang, and the others also followed. A large group of people followed behind him in a grandiose manner. The entire Heavenly Dao Arena was filled with people, and the atmosphere reached its peak. You're finally here. Yi Guchen spoke, his voice calm and indifferent. Seeing Jun Xiaoyao's arrival, his cold face didn't have the slightest ripple. Even if Jun Xiaoyao had already made history, and the battle record of killing thousands of people with one move had shaken the entire Huangtian mystic realm. But Yi Guchen's eyes didn't have the slightest fear. There was only the excitement of meeting an opponent and the surging fighting spirit. I have to thank you for not participating in the encirclement before, Jun Xiaoyao said. If Yi Guchen had joined the encirclement of Jiang Xingyi, then Jiang Xingyi definitely wouldn't have been able to hold on until his arrival. Hearing this, Yi Guchen shook his head indifferently and said, "There's no need to thank me. I wouldn't do such a despicable thing." Who was he? He was the sword demon who had once killed an emperor under the starry sky. Such a person, even if reincarnated, would not be in cahoots with the likes of Long Shihuang. That would be an insult to his character. I was wrong. If that's the case, then I'll apologize with a battle. Jun Xiaoyao's fighting spirit was also surging. He rarely had such a hot-blooded moment. Yi Guchen laughed heroically. His black hair danced in the wind as he shouted, "Jun Xiaoyao, I've climbed to the peak of the sword Dao and asked all the heroes in the world, are you worthy of my sword? No matter how the wind and clouds change, heroes rise and fall, the monarch is the king and the world is his subject." Jun Xiaoyao's words were equally heroic, and his aura swallowed thousands of miles like a tiger. looking at the two peerless geniuses whose auras soared into the sky and had the world in their hearts. The blood of all the geniuses present boiled. Jiang Shengyi, Jiang Luoli, and the other girls' eyes were filled with longing and admiration. This was the person they admired, a man who dominated thousands of generations and swallowed mountains and rivers. Even Supreme Du Tuo's blood, which had been silent for a long time, was boiling. It's good to be young and frivolous. Supreme Du Tuo smiled slightly. Next, the shocking battle between the Yi family's sword demon and the Jun family's son of God officially began. Jun Xiaoyao took a step forward and threw a punch in a simple manner. At this point, any words would seem pale and powerless. Only a hearty battle would be the greatest form of respect for each other. Jun Xiaoyao attacked. The vast fist light covered the sun, the moon, and the stars as if the sky was overturning. Yi Guchen didn't use the Emperor Slayer sword. Instead, he also threw a punch with his palm. Is Yi Guchen crazy? He's actually fighting Jun Xiaoyao head-on? Many geniuses widened their eyes. Jun Xiaoyao's physical body was famous for being abnormal. Who among the younger generation could stop him? Boom! Their fists and palms collided. It was as if two galaxies had collided, bursting out huge waves. Yi Guchen only felt a terrifying and boundless divine power pouring over. His physical body emitted light. Golden Tao patterns intertwined, and a vast aura of creation filled the air. Could that be the legendary golden body of creation that was almost lost? Seeing the changes in Yi Guchen's physical body, some of the knowledgeable geniuses present couldn't help but exclaim. The golden body of creation was an extremely rare and supreme body tempering technique. It was rumored that some Buddhist powerhouses used the golden body of creation to cultivate an immortal body. However, such a monstrous technique was almost lost. Even in one of the Buddhist legacies, the Little Western Paradise, there was only a partial and incomplete inheritance. Now, Yi Guchen used the complete golden body of creation. This was shocking. As expected of a reincarnated powerhouse, he has awakened his innate wisdom and can remember many lost techniques. Some of the geniuses sighed. These reincarnated monstrous geniuses also had an advantage over the rest. They could awaken the memories of their previous lives. After that, they would recall all kinds of martial arts technique. Many of them were ancient techniques that had been lost. They were extremely precious. Oh, the golden body of creation? Seeing that Yi Guchen blocked his punch, Jun Xiaoyao raised his eyebrows slightly. However, this was just a casual punch. Boom! Jun Xiaoyao activated the 100,000 divine elephant granules in his body. An even more terrifying power poured out. Crack! The sound of bones cracking could be heard from Yi Guchen's arm. With a loud bang, there was an earth-shattering sound of metal clashing. Yi Guchen's golden body of creation was instantly broken. Chapter 589. Dazzling golden light flickered in the air. The golden runes on Yi Guchen's body began to shatter. Jun Xiaoyao's physical strength was too terrifying. He was much more powerful than some of the older generation of Saint Kings or even Supreme Saint. Even though Yi Guchen had cultivated the almost lost golden body of creation, he was still no match for Jun Xiaoyao in terms of physical strength. Crack! The sound of bones cracking could be heard. Yi Guchen's expression was very calm. His arm was trembling at an extremely high frequency. Every time he trembled, he was able to dissipate a large amount of force. A technique to dissipate force? Jun Xiaoyao's eyes flashed. This was not some kind of magic. It was just a combat technique. However, it was also evident that Yi Guchen, as the reincarnation of the sword demon, had rich combat experience. Many of his techniques had become instinctive. Even so, Yi Guchen was forced to retreat dozens of steps. Yi Guchen, who was ranked first on the Barren Sky Saint ranking, was forced to retreat for the first time. There was dead silence all around. The son of God of the Jun family is indeed undefeatable. The legend of invincibility. The legend of the Jun family's son of God will continue. Some of Jun Xiaoyao's fanatical admirers were shouting excitedly. Jun Xiaoyao was still the same Jun Xiaoyao. When fighting, he would never be injured or retreat. He would fight until the end. Of course, not everyone thought this way. The two sides are just testing each other. The outcome is still unknown. That's right. The sword demon of the Yi family is testing the son of God of the Jun family with his own shortcomings. It's normal for him to be defeated. Don't forget that Yi Guqin hasn't used his sword yet. These words brought some of the geniuses back to their senses. Yi Guqin was the sword demon. With a sword in hand, he controlled the world. Right now, Yi Guqin was at most probing. Yi Guqin, there's no need for unnecessary probing. Show me your true strength, Jun Xiaoyao said calmly. Seeing this, Yi Guqin did not hold back. His footsteps flashed, and his figure seemed to draw out thousands of light shadows, merging into the trichiliocosm. He could be found in every world. This was an extremely ancient movement divine ability, and it had the ability to confuse the enemy, making it impossible for the enemy to discern what was real and what was not. Jun Xiaoyao's expression was indifferent as he dealt with the myriad of changes by remaining unchanged. Yi Guqin used his finger as a sword, and thousands of light shadows pointed out at the same time. Tianluo's sword finger. It was as if thousands of sword auras had cut through the 3,000 worlds and surrounded Jun Xiaoyao. These sword lights were both real and illusory. Jun Xiaoyao glanced around indifferently, but he still didn't move. He stood with his hands behind his back, looking very calm. In the next moment, those sword auras melted into nothingness when they were within 100 feet of Jun Xiaoyao's body. It's that strange magical immunity ability. Seeing this scene, some elites exclaimed. Yi Guqin's expression was calm, and his thousands of clones all rushed towards Jun Xiaoyao. In Jun Xiaoyao's mind, his primordial spirit trembled slightly, and the surging power of his primordial spirit poured out. In an instant, he locked onto a figure. Jun Xiaoyao's footsteps flashed, and a divine chain of order flew out from between his eyebrows, condensing into a golden short sword, and slashed at the figure. It was the primitive Emperor Dao sword. Boom! The moment the primitive Emperor Dao sword slashed down, all the surrounding phantoms suddenly disappeared. Jun Xiaoyao saw through Yi Guqin's true body at a glance. Bang! A violent sound of vibration was heard. That move of Jun Xiaoyao's was supposed to be able to kill ordinary geniuses right there and then. However, to everyone's surprise, Yi Guqin actually withstood it. There was a bell-shaped weapon between his eyebrows, protecting his primordial spirit. Heavens, that's a primordial spirit weapon? Seeing that bell-shaped weapon, not to mention the elites, even Supreme Du Tuo was speechless. As the name suggested, a primordial spirit weapon was a weapon used by the primordial spirit. The forging process of a primordial spirit weapon had almost been lost. Could be said that one used one was one less. However, there was actually a primordial spirit weapon in Yi Guqin's mind that was protecting his primordial spirit. In this way, it would be extremely difficult to destroy Yi Guqin's primordial spirit. As expected of the reincarnation of an ancient powerhouse, he even has such a good thing. Many elites revealed envious gazes. At this moment, Yi Guqin's expression became serious. Jun Xiaoyao was like a towering mountain in front of him, not moving at all. Jun Xiaoyao, you're very strong. It can even be said that you're an anomaly among the elites since ancient times. However, this is what makes it interesting. After saying that, Yi Guqin raised his left hand. Blood qi surged into the sky, and killing intent filled the air. The blood-colored sword qi shook the sky. He raised his right hand, and the power of the stars surged. Above the 9 heavens, a river of stars gathered and turned into a dazzling sword of stars. Yi Guqin was actually performing sword techniques with both hands at the same time. This kind of ability was not something that just anyone could possess. Blood-killing firmament, star-slaying god. The two sword techniques were performed at the same time, and a vast sword chi swept across the sky. The giant blood-colored sword and the giant starry sword slashed at Jun Xiaoyao at the same time. Every sword chi could easily kill a few saint overlords. Facing the two incoming swords, Jun Xiaoyao raised his hand. He still chose to fight with his physical body. Bang! It was as if a chain of mountains had collapsed. The void trembled, and debris flew through the air. The entire heavenly Dao arena was rumbling and trembling. Yi Guqin raised his eyebrows slightly. Not only did the two swords fail to hurt Jun Xiaoyao, they couldn't even make him retreat. Again, Yi Guqin's Dao heart was firm. He wouldn't be shaken by Jun Xiaoyao's strength at all. He continued to attack. His sword turned into thousands of swords, and it seemed as if there were thousands of sword lights flashing in the void. The layers of sword lights were like a meat grinder, crushing toward Jun Xiaoyao. Jun Xiaoyao simply punched out with the 6 paths of reincarnation fist, breaking all attacks with one move. Boom! It was as if there were 6 small worlds. As Jun Xiaoyao's fist crushed out, the surrounding thousands of sword chi were destroyed. Jun Xiaoyao's fist didn't slow down, and it smashed toward Yi Guqin. Seeing this, Yi Guqin pointed at his glabella. In an instant, the void trembled, and 108,000 sword souls burst out from his body. Each sword soul had the power to destroy the sun, moon, and stars. And now, 108,000 sword souls came out at the same time. Their power was earth-shattering. The sword chi drowned out heaven and earth, and covered the sky, pressing toward Jun Xiaoyao. Rumble! Jun Xiaoyao's 6 paths of reincarnation fist collided with the 108,000 sword souls. Instantly, there was a dense and continuous collision sound. Seeing this battle, everyone in the surroundings almost stopped breathing. The 108,000 sword souls could be said to be one of Yi Guqin's trump cards. In the past, when he fought with others, one sword soul was enough to kill his opponent. Now, 108,000 sword souls came out at the same time. One could imagine how powerful it was. Don't tell me the battle is over so quickly? Looking at Jun Xiaoyao, who was completely surrounded by the sword souls, many of the sky prides present muttered. And at this moment, bang! A figure leaped out of the sea like a kuan purring and broke through the sword soul barrier. A punch came straight at Yi Guqin. The 6 paths of reincarnation fist controlled 6 top-tier superpowers. The power of that punch seemed to be able to pierce through the heavens. Boom! Jun Xiaoyao's punch was enough to destroy everything. Is the result already? Everyone looked at the center of the collision and muttered absent-mindedly. It would be disappointing if Yi Guqin, the first on the desolate sky saint ranking, was defeated like this. Chapter 590. To their surprise, even Yi Guqin, who was ranked first on the desolate sky sacred ranking, was in a disadvantageous position against Jun Xiaoyao. The crowd could not help but wonder if anyone in the same generation in the 9 heavens immortal realm could defeat Jun Xiaoyao. Is the sword demon of the Yi clan done for? The geniuses murmured among themselves as they watched the dust spreading in the air. If that was the case, Yi Guqin's reputation would surely drop to the lowest point. No. No way, there's no way Yi Guqin is going to lose. Yi Guqin clenched his fists. No matter how strong Jun Xiaoyao was, there was no way he could kill Yi Guqin so easily. While the crowd was immersed in their thoughts, Jun Xiaoyao, who threw the punch, had a strange look in his eyes. His fist didn't land on flesh and blood. A gust of wind blew the dust away. In the next moment, everyone's gazes converged on him. A sword covered in blood stood in front of Yi Guqin, blocking Jun Xiaoyao's fist. It was the monarch-slaying sword. Oh! Jun Xiaoyao raised his brows slightly. Even a supreme weapon would at least have cracks on it, if not shatter into pieces after receiving the punch. However, the Emperor Slayer's sword was buzzing and trembling, as if it was brewing with a shocking sharpness. Sword, come! Yi Guqin stepped back and raised his hand to grab at the same time. The monarch-slaying sword had finally landed in his hand. In an instant, Yi Gu-chen's temperament changed. He was like a sharp sword that had been drawn out of its sheath, emitting a peerless glow that could tear the heavens apart. When a sword cultivator held a sword in his hand, he would own the entire world. Yi Gu-chen's finger gently brushed the edge of the monarch-slaying sword. A clang was heard. Who can comprehend the joy of the sword? My sword is only missing one. Jun Xiaoyao, you're worthy of my sword. Yi Gu-chen had finally used the monarch-slaying sword. He casually swept out with his sword, and sword qi swept out like an ocean, filling the heavens and the earth. Streaks of sword energy came crashing down like a mountain range of 10,000 miles. If ordinary geniuses were to fall into it, they wouldn't even have the slightest bit of resistance. In that case, let's fight sword with sword, Jun Xiaoyao said leisurely. He used his finger as a sword and swept out with the immortal slaying sword art. The incomparably sharp sword light shattered the void, and the scene of an immortal falling appeared. Jun Xiaoyao was neither a sword cultivator nor a sword cultivator. But at his level, he could turn something rotten into something magical. He had all kinds of methods at his fingertip. At this moment, he saw Jun Xiaoyao's peerless sword move. If he said he was a sword cultivator, no one would object. Boom! Jun Xiaoyao's sword slashed through the myriad of sword qi and headed straight for Yi Gu-chen. Everyone exclaimed in surprise. Was it Yi Gu-chen before? He was at a disadvantage against Jun Xiaoyao's physical strength. But now, Jun Xiaoyao was crushing Yi Gu-chen's strongest advantage in terms of sword Dao. If ordinary geniuses saw this scene, their Dao heart would definitely collapse and they would completely lose their will to fight. But Yi Gu-chen was getting braver and braver as he fought. There were flames burning in his pitch-black eyes. 3 ultimate holy swords. Yi Gu-chen held the Imperial Slayer sword and slashed out 3 times in a row. 1 streak of sword qi? It was as blazing as the sun. 1 streak of sword qi was as cold as the moon. 1 streak of sword qi? It was as bright as the stars. This sword Dao mystical power? It was integrated with the power of the sun, moon, and stars? It was extremely mysterious? When they combined, there were endless changes. 3 sword moves in an instant? They combined hundreds and thousands of times and divided into countless sword moves. It could be said that it was almost impossible to crack this move. With Jun Xiaoyao's comprehension, it wasn't difficult to crack this sword move. But he didn't need to crack it at all. He could defeat 10 with brute force. Jun Xiaoyao directly used the purest strength to crush everything. His left hand used the Thunder Emperor's mystical power to derive the ultimate move, Thunder Emperor's Finger. His right hand used the Kuan Peng's mystical power to perform the Kuan Peng Infinite Divine Fist. 2 mystical powers were performed by Jun Xiaoyao at the same time. Heaven and earth seemed to be destroyed in an instant, torn in half by Jun Xiaoyao. Even someone as strong as Yi Gu-chen. The ultimate move he used completely collapsed under Jun Xiaoyao's brute strength. Jun Xiaoyao stepped across the void and used the Kuan Peng's extreme speed. His figure flashed and appeared in front of Yi Gu-chen in an instant. The power of the divine elephant overpowering force was fully activated. The true body of the ancient divine elephant appeared and pressed down like a demonic mountain. Bang! Yi Gu-chen blocked the attack with the Emperor's Slayer sword, but he was still forced back. The blood in his chest was boiling. The surrounding space was distorted by the terrifying divine power, as if it was about to explode. Not to mention Yi Gu-chen, who was in the middle of it. It could be said that no other genius would be able to survive Jun Xiaoyao's attack. Yi Gu-chen was repelled at the moment, and blood was flowing from the corner of his mouth. But compared to Jun Xiaoyao's other opponents, he was much, much better. Is the son of God of the Jun family really invincible? Seeing the current situation, some of the geniuses were dazed. That was Yi Gu-chen, the reincarnation of the sword demon, who was famous in the Emperor Road. but he was always at a disadvantage against Jun Xiaoyao. And everyone knew that Jun Xiaoyao hadn't used his full strength. If he used his ultimate move that could destroy heaven and earth, Yi Guqin might not be able to survive. Yi Guqin, you're really impressive to be able to last so long against me, Jun Xiaoyao said. Even if he hadn't used his full strength. But ordinary geniuses couldn't even take a casual palm strike from him. In comparison, Yi Guqin was much, much stronger. Again, Yi Guqin wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth. With a boom, a towering sword will burst out from Yi Guqin's body. The blood-red sword qi swept in all directions. That's the Shura sword will. Rumor has it that Yi Guqin has fused immortal qi into his sword will. Every sword will is immortal qi. Yi Guqin had finally used his true trump card, immortal qi. But unlike ordinary geniuses, his immortal qi had been transformed into sword will. Interesting. Jun Xiaoyao's eyes lit up slightly. This was the advantage of fighting with an expert. He could test his opponent's skills and learn from his own. It wasn't just the Shura sword will. There was also the five-colored divine light bursting out from Yi Guqin's body. That was the five elements sword will. Lightning flashed out along with the sword light. Lightning sword will. There was also a surge of sword will that carried the image of all living things. That was the sword will of all creation. 4 streams of sword intent meant that Yi Guqin had refined 4 streams of immortal qi. The Yi family's sword demon has 4 immortal qi. Yi Guqin's performance shocked all the surrounding geniuses. One had to know that before refining the divine fetus, Jiang Xingyi only had 3 immortal qi. Even top geniuses like Long Shuhuang only had 3 immortal qi. Jun Xiaoyao, will you be able to take this attack? 4 sword wills gushed out and merged with each other, forming a shocking sword that shot into the galaxy. Then, tens of thousands of sword qi fell like rain, destroying everything in all directions. Heaven and Earth sword. This was the shocking sword that Yi Guqin had used with 4 immortal qi. Tens of thousands of swords came out together, washing the universe with blood. It could be said that this move was so powerful that it could even threaten a sage king expert. Since you have used all your strength, I will let you experience the true power of the Son of God. As Jun Xiaoyao's voice fell, immortal qi also appeared on the surface of his body. Immortal body, immortal qi. Immortal qi of all creation. Reincarnation, immortal qi. Void, immortal qi. Sin, immortal qi. A total of 5 immortal qi wrapped around Jun Xiaoyao's body like dragons. At this moment, there was dead silence in all directions. The galaxy was silent. Chapter 591. I'm not seeing things, am I? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 strands of immortal qi? That's right, there are 5 strands of immortal qi. Wasn't there 4 before? It seems like the Son of God of the Jun family has another strand of immortal qi after refining the divine fetus. 3 strands of immortal qi on the ancient road of ultimate were considered powerful. 4 strands of immortal qi were enough to compete for the title of King of the Emperor Road. And now, Jun Xiaoyao had revealed a total of 5 strands of immortal qi, causing everyone to tremble. All the Sky Pride's eyes were trembling. A monster, a one-of-a-kind monster. Supreme Du Tuo's eyelids twitched slightly. But for some reason, he felt that Jun Xiaoyao seemed to be hiding something. Jun Xiaoyao blasted out the 6 paths of reincarnation fist, and 5 strands of immortal qi wrapped around his arm. A punch to break the sky. All the sword qi was annihilated by this punch and disappeared without a trace. Yi Guqin finally couldn't help but spit out a big mouthful of blood. Among Jun Xiaoyao's 5 strands of immortal qi, there was not only the immortal qi of physical body, but also the immortal qi of all creation. That kind of power was like the reincarnation of the mighty miracle god. His divine power was monstrous and unparalleled. Physical body divine power was not Yi Guqin's specialty. However, His swordsmanship was completely overpowered by Jun Xiaoyao. His 4 sword intents were also suppressed by Jun Xiaoyao's 5 strands of immortal qi. In terms of cultivation level, Yi Guqin could not gain any advantage. It could be said that Yi Guqin was suppressed by Jun Xiaoyao in all aspects. Jun Xiaoyao, could you be the reincarnation of an ancient celestial emperor? Yi Guqin wiped away the blood at the corner of his mouth with the back of his hand and looked straight at Jun Xiaoyao. His question made many sky prides pricked up their ears. Indeed, they also had the same doubts in their hearts. Logically speaking, it was impossible for a freak like Jun Xiaoyao to appear in the world. In front of him, even those ancient freaks were like weak fledglings. But the problem was that Jun Xiaoyao was only in his 20s. No one would believe that such a young anomaly was not the reincarnation of the celestial emperor. I, Jun Xiaoyao, am just Jun Xiaoyao, not anyone else, Jun Xiaoyao said calmly. Even Goddess Eternal Calamity had said that he was a person without karma. How could he be the reincarnation of an ancient celestial emperor? It seems that no one knows that Master's most terrifying aspect isn't his sacred body of the ancients or his paragon bones, but rather his fateless powers. Goddess of Eternal Calamity saw this. He murmured in his heart. He shook his head slightly. A fateless one? It couldn't be anyone's reincarnation. Unexpectedly, when Yi Guqin heard Jun Xiaoyao's answer, he smiled and said, "Is that so? Me, Yi Guqin? He's just Yi Guqin, not some ancient sword demon. Maybe I used to be someone else, but now? I am Yi Guqin. The Grandmaster of the Way of the Sword, Yi Guqin." As soon as Yi Guqin's voice trailed off, an astonishing sword will began to be released, and the entire heavenly law arena began to tremble. It was as if they were about to face some kind of great horror. This is. Feeling this special fluctuation, all the geniuses present felt an extreme sense of fear. This was because when Jun Xiaoyao used the move of Armageddon before, there was also this kind of terrifying fluctuation sweeping out. No way, is he going to do it again? Does Yi Guqin have a trump card like the son of God of the Jun family? Some geniuses began to instinctively retreat far away, fearing that they would be affected. Jun Xiaoyao's eyes narrowed slightly, and there was a hint of interest in his eyes. He could also feel that Yi Guqin's move was different. This move is the way of the sword that I comprehended when I severed my past and reconstructed my true self. Jun Xiaoyao, you have the right to make me use this move. Yi Guqin's eyes were burning with fighting spirit. This was a move that embodied his will of the way of the sword. It was also his trump card. What, a self-created way of the sword? Hearing this, gasps could be heard from all around. The requirements to create a way of the sword was extremely strict, and it was not something that ordinary people could do. Even if they could do it, most of the self-created moves would have limited power. But now, they could feel the sword will fluctuation emanating from Yi Guqin. This way of the sword was obviously not weak. Yi Guqin held the Emperor's Slayer with both hands. The Emperor's Slayer let out a buzzing sound, as if it was boiling with Yi Guqin's fighting spirit. Some of the geniuses who cultivated the way of the sword suddenly realized that their swords were involuntarily flying through the air and converging toward Yi Guqin. At the same time, countless swords in the entire Emperor Road rose into the air and gathered into a mighty torrent of sword qi. Their target was the barren heaven battlefield. Yi Guqin's will of the way of the sword had affected the entire Emperor Road. At this moment, the heavenly law arena was trembling. Everyone had a feeling that this move would determine the winner of the Emperor Road's battle. Not enough, still not enough. Sensing the power of his move, Yi Guqin's eyes revealed a look of determination. He lifted his hand and patted his chest, spraying his heart's blood onto the Emperor Slayer. The Emperor Slayer's sword qi became even more intense after being stained with blood, as if it was the ancestor of all swords. With blood as the guide, with my body as the sacrifice, all swords shall greet me, heed my command, Yi Guchen raised the Emperor Slayer high, his black hair dancing wildly as he let out a long roar. Tribulation of the 10,000 deities. Whoosh! Above the Milky Way, billions of swords came from the depths of the universe, from the Emperor Road, and from various ancient star regions. The scene covered the Milky Way and the universe. There was only one sword in the universe. One sword of the universe, tribulation of 10,000 deities. The Emperor Slayer in Yi Guchen's hand slashed down. The billions of swords gathered to form a sword that reached the heavens. It was as if it was going to cut off the universe as it swept down. Rumble! The entire heavenly law arena began to sink. The sealing runes that prevented the dermic powers from fluctuating exploded one after another, unable to withstand this terrifying power. Tribulation of 10,000 deities. This was the ultimate way of the sword that Yi Guchen had comprehended after severing his past and reconstructing his true self. This sword made even gods and ghosts sigh. It's too terrifying. Who can block this sword? Yi Guchen's ultimate move made everyone tremble. A glimmer of light finally appeared in Jun Xiaoyao's eyes. Then let's see which of our self-created superpowers is more powerful. Jun Xiaoyao raised his hand and the power of sin surged. Endless red lines appeared. Each strand represented karma as well as sinful karma. Jun Xiaoyao was like a god that controlled all karma and sin. He wanted to control sin and send down divine punishment. If Yi Guchen was said to be the demon of the sword at this moment, Jun Xiaoyao was the god of control. Genesis, punishment of gods. With this move, the endless red lines of karma and sin intertwined, entangling the mighty sword. An indescribable wave spread out, as if it was going to destroy 3,000 worlds. The Milky Way reversed, and the ancient star collapsed. The entire heavenly law arena was drowned by the waves of collision. Amidst the violent rumbling, it began to break apart. The other sky prides had already retreated far away. That kind of wave, even if it was just the aftermath, was enough to kill an ordinary sky pride. Everyone was also looking forward to the final result. 10,000 deities, tribulation and Genesis, which was stronger? Yi Guchen and Jun Xiaoyao, who would win?